Good evening, racing fans. Welcome to racing action from Grand River Raceway for this. Just a minute. We'll turn to the front of the program. This Monday evening, our first race will go to post in approximately 20 minutes. Track condition listed as fast. The announcers listed as slow. Let's get a look at the changes on this evening's card of racing. No changes races 1 through 4. No changes races 1 through 4. In race number 5, number 2, YS Delight, there will be a driver to be announced. Race 5 to YS Delight, driver to be announced. In race number 6, number 2, All on Trish, driver to be announced. Race 6-2, TBA. In race number 7, there are no changes. No changes, race number 7. In race number 8, number 3, Shadow Moon Rising has a missing chart line. Well, it's not missing anymore. Raced on the 15th at Sarnia. Winner Gagnon by 2 3/4, 157 flat. That's a winner by 2 3/4 in 157. And note that number 6, Disneyman. J.R. Plot will drive. J.R. Plot will drive number 6, Disneyman, in the 8th. In race number 9, number 3, Arrakis, J.R. Plot will be your driver. And the 10th race, number 7, Examiner Hanover, will be J.R. Plot. J.R. Plot will drive 7, Examiner Hanover. And number 8, Viper, the driver to be announced. Those are all the changes. Once again, a look at races 1 through 4, and there are no changes. It is currently 17 minutes to post time, and time to welcome in our handicapping expert for this evening and every evening, Robert Reed Jr. How are things there in Margaritaville, Rob?
Oh, they're fantastic in Margaritaville, Gary. Listen, it was a great weekend of harness racing action. I'm sure most people caught the Meadowlands Pace, won by Confederate on Saturday night south of the border, and of course Sylvia Hanover, Mistletoe Chalet, one of the greatest harness racing performances I've ever seen in my life. Still watching that one back many times over, and I was also watching Red Shores PEI Summerside Raceway. They had the Governor's Plate, the 55th running of it. And Rollum was a dominant winner there. So real fun weekend of harness racing action all over Ontario as well. I'm checking out all the tracks as I always do. But I hope you enjoyed your weekend. It's Monday, and we kick off the week here at Grand River Raceway with a fantastic card. We've got another big-time champion returning, here to the river. Actually, first time racing the river for Desperate Man. Lawless Shadow was a winner in our preferred not too long ago. Of course, he was the winner of the 2021 Meadowlands Pace. Now we have the winner of the 2021 North America Cup, Desperate Man, making his first trip around the half-mile oval here in Elora, and excited to see him in action. Looking like, he needs that confidence boost, and he likely found the spot where he can get that done. We've also got a 2-year-old fillies pacing event in race number 6. Those races are always a little bit challenging. So that should be a nice way to kick off our late pick 5 this evening. And race 9 will be our feature. It's a preferred 2 on the trot. Very competitive looking group in that one. But as always, we're going to kick off with that nice multi-leg wager. The early pick 5, guaranteed pool $5,000, low takeout 15%. That gets started off in the opener. And Gary and I will come back in about 8 minutes to post to give us our thoughts on that sequence.
Hey kids, we've got two brand new contests for horse lovers who like to take photos or videos. If you are in grades 5 to 8 as of June 1st, enter the Youth Photo Derby and the Youth Video Derby with your photos and videos of standardbreds. You could win up to $250. The deadline for both contests is August 31st. Whether it's the thrill of horses, crossing the finish line, the joy of the winner's circle, or even horses in the field, as long as it's got a standardbred team, that's what we're looking for. Check out our website for more details, bgracingalliance.ca.
8 minutes to post to the opener at Grand River Raceway. You know what that means? It's pick five time. Early pick five, guaranteed pool, $5,000. Always a low takeout, 15%. And it's an interesting sequence that I think a lot of people will be singling in on one horse in race number two. And of course, that is the former North America Cup champion. I guess you know we always it should be like a president, right? It should always be like just North America Cup champion, whether he's former or not. We'll say North America Cup champion, Desperate Man in race number two. He'll be my single. If he gets beat, well, so will I, because we'll see a great spot for him to get his confidence back and get back to the winner's circle. Race number one for me, 1, 3, and 5. I do understand the support for the five wife. He said so. Has been in fantastic form for Team Cullen, hitting the board in each of her last six. Last two starts here have been good. Obviously, up against Fear the Crush, who's been electric as of late. So, obviously, yet the one to beat. But I like the 3-0 Gouda a little bit here. I think this looks like a good spot for her to rebound. And Cheddar's Delight on the rail has been racing, or as Gary's going to say, on the pylons or whatever. She's been racing really well as of late since, kind of transitioning to this class. So 1, 3, and 5 for me in the opener. Race two, just a four Desperate Man. Last two starts have been facing obviously much tougher at Mohawk Park. Each of those efforts kind of just, getting those trips where he probably needs to just get them under his feet before he's ready to really, be on the business end of any contest. And now he gets down, to the top condition class here, which should be to his liking. And certainly has been coming home with some gumption, even though getting beat by a wide margin. So I think that he is, clearly the one to beat in race number two. He's going to get bet off the board with his credentials, but I can't go against him. The four Desperate Man's a single for me in race two. Race number three, the 2, 3, and 6. I think those are the ones you want to kind of zero in on in there. The 3 and 6, maybe if you wanted to press some tickets. They're both making the trip over from Mohawk Park. Both beaten by a wide margin last time, though. And that's why I added the two Santa My Stilettos. First time Lasix tonight, and I thought that she raced a lot better last time out. She keeps stepping forward. Maybe her experience over this oval will help her get the better of those two shippers in race number three. Race number four, the 4 and 5 for me are kind of difficult to separate. You've got Joyful Lady, who was a nice winner last time at this level, did try her luck at Mohawk Park for a couple of starts, a good third three back there. And I think she's going to, be very strong in this spot again, but quite nice. This one's coming over from Mohawk Park. Has been competing in the OSS grassroots. You have to think she's going to like this transition in classification. So 4-5 for me in race number 4. Race 5, 2, 3, 4, and 6. I'm going 4 deep. Very fond of the 6. He's a handyman. Second start now, back off a layoff. Love his chances. Also done you business, the 4. I think that he's got a chance to maybe try to go all the way on the engine. The 3 ham sandwich will have something to say about that, though. So I'm going 4 deep in there, 2, 3, 4, and 6, spending $14.40. I think I'm spending the exact same amount in the late pick 5 as well. But let's see what Gary Guy has in store for us in this early pick 5 wager.
Well, Rob, starting off in race number 1, I have the 1 and the 5, but I left out 3 Oguda. And in race number 2, I added a couple, even though it is Desperate Man. I think Desperate Man's going to probably be 1 to 5 or maybe 1 to 9. And you know what? I'm going to take a shot, see if I can get a price, because that's one way of getting it if you happen to get a horse to not race as well as the odds would suggest. And, he's been the last couple races not that good, so we'll see what happens. Race number 3. I got the 3 and the 6. I think the 6 is the one to beat in there, and you see that the same way, but I didn't add in the 2. Race 4, we have the same opinion, 4 and 5. And in the 5th race, only 2 deep. I love Ham Sandwich in there, and then also 2 YS Delight. And we saw Ham Sandwich last start and thought, that's when you could maybe use next time out. We put it on the watch list, and I used it off the watch list.
Well, I'm using off the watch list. Didn't put him on top though, because I'm very fond of my top 2 choices in there. He's a handyman, the 6 and the 4, none your business, both dropping down. There's Conley's ticket. So he agrees with Gary in the opening leg. He's going to go 1-5. Look at that. They're in agreement too in the second leg too. They're going to go 4, 6, and 7. So they are they're trying to beat Desperate Man in the second leg. 3, 4 in race 3. So using the 4, Zeb's Breaking Dawn, who I think's actually been rounding into some nice form. For Chris Rogers. And then in race number 4, the 3, 4. So adding Brindley, Sealster, and leaving out the 5, quite nice. A little bit of a different approach for Conley here. And then race 5, the 2, 3, same 2 horse to Gary. So we're all kind of in the same neighborhood, but a little bit different here and there. Gary and I have 16 combinations where we could both get to the winner's circle tonight. But you got to map out your winning tickets to try to get your early pick 5 into the winner's circle. Again, guaranteed pool is $5,000. Takeout is a low 15%. We'll come back, take a closer look at the opening dash after the post break.
Field 4, race number 1 is on parade, and 1 is Cheddar's Delight. Austin Sorry for Bud Sinclair and Linda Richardson and Lindsay Sinclair. Number 2, Virtual Kiss, Samuel Filyoff, Robert Kyle Fellows, and Blair Corbeil and Arpad Zabo. Number 3 is Oh Gouda, Mike Horner, for Mark Horner and RAW Equine. Number 4 is Music Box Noise, Brett McDonough for Chris Rogers and Hut Racing. And number 5 is Wifey Said So, Travis Cullen drives for Jody Cullen and Ron Cullen and Keith Hanna. And number 6 is Storybook Bella, Jay Harris for Robert Kyle Fellows and Ray Cox. And number 7, Duchess of Brant, Travis Henry for Chris Haskell and Brooke Marks. Field of 7, race number 1. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, first up, we'll start with number 3, Oh Aguda. Not so Gouda the last couple races, but you go back 3 back, the last time we saw this one here, pretty solid effort, just got caught late.
Yeah, I just got caught late by Twin Viejo, who's gone on to do good things as well. So to me, that's a good form reference. Love the way she looks in the track right now. She looks pretty sharp out there, ears up. So she's having a good time. And last time at Clinton, kin pace elimination, it was over kind of, it was a good track, but it was kind of sloppy that occasion. Parked for part of the mile before fading back to fifth. I'm going to give her a pass on that one. 2 back at Mohawk Park against Twin Delight. Take Twin Delight in here at any price. And if you go back beyond that, Gary, the lines really aren't that bad at all. I mean, the City of London final, she had absolutely no shot from post 7 and was on a nice win streak prior to that. So I'm thinking she's going to kind of get back into her good efforts again and get back to the winner's circle again soon. And why not here tonight at the River from post 3? Oh, just clicked down to 1-2. My word. I was hoping for a price. We saw 7-2 a moment ago. Let's hope that price floats back up.
Well, there's one of the cheese stories. How about the other one? One Cheddar's Delight on the inside. Used post 1 last race to get a trip.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be the plan again. And I think that we've seen some good things lately from Cheddar's Delight. One that we, kind of thought was a peripheral player a few starts ago, and really closed up nicely late. Like that looks like she kind of moved into second. She actually was moving her best in the final, maybe 5-6 strides or so, and may have gone by if had been showing clearance sooner. And then since then, a good third, totally rigged 2 back and then had to get beat by that rival again. So she was double digits in both those efforts against a heavy favorite and totally rigged. Now she gets to come back from the pole position. She's going to probably push out for a good spot off the gate. And I think, will play a big part of this throughout. So she's value right now, 9-2. No question about that. I thought she'd be taking more support than the 3 Oguda, but not the way it's playing out so far.
My top one is 5 Wifey Said So, and maybe it's just a subconscious thing that I'm biased against Cheddar and Gouda because I don't like either of them. Wifey Said So. I like the horses. I just don't like Cheddar and Gouda. Wifey Said So. 6-1 I do like.
Who doesn't like cheddar? That's maybe margarita pizzas with cheddar. What else don't you like? There's lots of things you don't like, Gary.
Well, if you keep it up, I won't like you.
Yeah. Wifey Said So. Listen, she's been racing fantastic lately. I thought she'd be the heavy favorite here. I really did. I thought, I was, kind of playing it smart to avoid a short price here with Oguda, and then maybe, an exact of a couple decent price horses with the as you call them, the 2 cheese horses. But right now she's 6-1, and she's doing it after getting beat by Fear the Crush. No shame in that in each of her last 2, and then she's at the board in each of her last 6. She's got 2 victories over that span. So right now, all kinds of value at 6-1, no doubt about it. And I've got her in my pick 5 because I thought that you want to have to go 1, 3, and 5 here in the opening leg.
And number 2, Virtual Kiss, is the one that you decided was good enough to use on the bottom. Was good enough for third last time out, right behind Cheddar's Delight.
Yeah, I think that Virtual Kiss is one that I was hoping to see a little more from last time. Ended up finishing third, beating 6 lengths at a big price against Totally Rigged. Comes into the same races as Cheddar's Delight. I think it's hard to put her ahead of that one. because of that. But does get to work from a good spot on the gate. Will likely get away, decent off the switch, and might just be able to, get a big chunk of it when it comes down to the stretch.
And it's amazing how we've soured on 7 Duchess of Brant because we loved her just a few races back, but has kind of gone a little bit off. But still, Duchess of Brant is dangerous, Rob.
Well, she's getting acclimated to the level, right? So that's a plus. But post 7 again, she draws inside. I would have said she's worth taking a chance on at a price 12-1 from post 7. That's probably about the right number on her.
The field for race number 1 taking up their positions. It is a field of 7. With Oguda as the 1-2 favorite, Cheddar's Delight, Virtual Kiss, and Oguda. In the center, Music Box Noise, and Wifey Said So to the outside, Storybook Bella, and Duchess of Brant. It's a field of 7. It's race number 1. Here they come. And the field for race 1 is at the start of the round. Virtual Kiss and Oguda. Cheddar is Delight. Wifey Said So. Storybook Bella. On the outside now is moved up to take 4th, and Wifey Said So is over to the pylons racing 5th. Then Duchess of Brant and Music Box Noise trails the field. Virtual Kiss, but Oguda continues to drive, and Oguda now is going to come on and get the front. Storybook Bella is driving on the outside at 13-1 and wants to clear to the front of her Oguda. And then Virtual Kiss racing position 3rd in front of Cheddar's Delight and Wifey Said So. Duchess of Brant and Music Box Noise. Storybook Bella at 13-1's got the lead over Oguda. 27-1 the opening quarter. Virtual Kiss is 3rd. Now Cheddar's Delight is angled off the pylons as they race on towards us, and popping up from 3rd comes Virtual Kiss to work first over, giving cover to Cheddar's Delight. Wifey Said So is back racing 3rd from last, and then back further it is Duchess of Brant, and way back Music Box Noise is going to have to make a lot of noise now. 56-3 the halftime, and Storybook Bella at 31 still has the lead. On the outside, Virtual Kiss has moved up and is got now 2nd. Oguda to the inside is 3rd, about 2.5 lengths off lead. Then Cheddar's Delight, Wifey Said So. Duchess of Brant is scooting through to the inside, but right now Storybook Bella is the story. 1:24-4 the 3/4 time, and Storybook Bella leads it by 3.5 or 4 lengths over Oguda. Duchess of Brant is trying to find a seam, and then Cheddar's Delight at the field turns for home. Storybook Bella as they come on down the stretch drive. Storybook Bella at 13-1 is now comfortably in command as the number of pick 5 tickets hit the floor, including ours, and a second Cheddar's Delay. Then Duchess of Brant and Oguda. 153-4. Rob, goodbye, pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can't even get to an equation where I would have used Storybook Bella. And I mean, listen, she raced good last time to finish 2nd. She was overland for most of the journey, but that's, in a much softer spot than this, right? That's not when there's a 15,000 life and against, Joyful Lady we're going to see later on in the card. So that just makes that horse's stock go through the roof. And yeah, Gary, I mean, I was even surprised when I looked and saw 13-1 on her. I thought the price may have even been bigger, but I guess, you got, Jay Harris aboard. He's a guy who usually likes to be aggressive off the switch, and that's what he did tonight with Storybook Bella. Put her on the engine, and she responded very well. And I guess the one thing you look at is post 8 last time, and 2 back had the same starting spot and got away in the 2-hole, but still faded back to 5th on that occasion. So big time performance though for her tonight, 153-4.
Yeah, and although that 1-2 back, Fear the Crush was the winner, and that's a huge measuring stick there as well.
It is, yeah, and Wifey Said So was in there as well. Finished 3rd, wasn't too far ahead. Storybook Bella. So, again, this is one that I think you had to kind of do a lot of digging to kind of get to this one and use her in the pick 5. But those who did will be potentially in store for a massive score, because I don't think she's on many tickets at all. I thought this race looked pretty standard. 1, 3, 5, or maybe pare those ones down. So yeah, I think we're on the verge of a big ticket.
Well, and then below that, we did have a cheese sandwich. Well, actually, we had cheese in 2nd and 4th with Duchess of Brant spread in between them.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I thought Oguta would be better tonight. I love the fact she was handling the aggressive off the gate. Just didn't have it right. Two hole gapped out, faded back to fourth. But I still think we'll see her rebound at some point.
Back in front of us is number 6, Storybook Bella. Harris, the winning driver, 3-year-old sports writer Bay Philly, by Murray Cox of Rockwood. Robert Kyle Fellows is the trainer. It's the first win this year, his second lifetime. Storybook Bella. The first race, a payout 6 Storybook Bella, 29.60, $10 and 440. 1 Shetter's Delight, 320, 270, and 7 Duchess of Brant, 560. $2 exactor, 88.40. Dollar try, 177.25, and the dollar super, 696.35. The first race, or a finish from the top down, 2647513. That's 2647513 in the bottom.
Storybook Bella out of the early pick five in that opener. Nice long shot to start off the card, but also knocked out yours truly and Gary. But hey, it's time for the early pick four. Guaranteed pool $2,500, low takeout 15%. We're getting a great look at Desperate Man just a moment ago, who will be the heavy favorite in the upcoming second race of the night. There's my ticket, $4.80. And I'm singling Desperate Man. And right now, 3-1 on the board. That's not going to hold up. You can see by the double. Huge favorite in the double. He's going to be the huge favorite, most likely, in the pick four and the pick five. And will likely go off as a short price in this second race. Obviously, North America Cup champion last season, hit the board in 9 of 19, earned another $166,000 as a 4-year-old. And this year trying to right the ship here tonight at Grand River Raceway. No better than 8th in his last 2, but this looks like a great spot for him to get back into the win column. Single for me, number 4, Desperate Man. Race number 3, the 2, 3, and 6. I think the 3 and 6 look like the most logical ones, but I'm also going to use the 2 stand in my stilettos, thinking that one might be able to use inside post position and first-time Lasix. Maybe upset the apple cart in there. Race number 4, the 4 Joyful Lady and the 5 Quite Nice. Well, Joyful Lady's stock goes up tremendously after handily beating Storybook Bella last time, and then that one goes on to win up a class. So Joyful Lady, I think you have to maybe lean more so in her direction on race number 4. That's the 4. Also using the 5 though. Quite nice. Race number 5, the Muddy Leg, 2, 3, 4, and 6 for me. I do like Gary's ham sandwich in there. That's the 3. But my top 2 selections are the 6, He's a Handyman, and the 4, None Ya Business. Just thinking getting down a notch in the class ladder is going to help both of them out. And they might be a little bit of value in the multi-leg wagers. I think vertically they're both going to take support, but in the multi-leg wagers, they might offer a little bit of value. $4.80 for my 20-cent pick 4 ticket that you see on the screen right now. And later on, my late pick 4 will cost you the exact same amount. So we're keeping it consistent with the ticket costs anyways. Let's hope we have a little more success, though, in this early pick 4 than we did in the early pick 5. But you got a minute away until we'll be coming out onto the track for race number 2. So start mapping out your winning wagers for this early pick 4 sequence. Again, the guaranteed pool was $2,500 to take out. As always, a low 15%. We'll be back shortly to take a closer look at this upcoming dash.
Field 4 race number 2 is on parade. 1 somewhere in Tuscany. Steve Hudon for Laura Tuscany and Gino Tuscany. And 2 is Bearcat Willie. Mike Horner. He is the driver and trainer and owner. 3 is Bugsy McGuire. Austin Sorry for Rachel Andrew. 4 is Desperate Man. Garrett Rooney for Kathy Chikeen and John Chikeen and Nicole and Paul Davies. And number 5, Champagne Phil, Ken Oliver for ICL Racing of Pefferlaw. And number 6, Sea Laird, Paul McKenzie for Terry Gallant and Stacy Smith Robinson. Number 7 is Redneck Jim, Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen and Paul Sanders. 8 is P.L. Oliver, Jason Ryan for Matt Dupuis. And 9 is St. Lad's Beat It, Anthony Hahn for Lori LePage and Rebecca Williamson. Field of 9 for race number 2. Let's get a look at this field. And, of course, we need to start with Desperate Man. And 6 to 5 on the board. Which way do you think the odds will go for Desperate Man?
Oh, I think they're going to plummet, Gary. I was surprised earlier to see money go in other directions. I mean, I think it's all got to go the way of Desperate Man. The closer we get to post time, North America Cup champion at the age of 3. Last season, not a bad year, really. I mean, it went 9 for 19 in the money, over 166,000 added to his bankroll. This year, though, came out at the start of the year. So in his first few starts at 5, were decent, and in condition races at Mohawk against much tougher. Then he's faced easier since returning from the bench again. But needing those ones under his feet, probably right. I think you look at both those lines and say, okay, it's go time now. Gets to an easier spot, in a race where, by all rights, it looks like one of those ones where he's going to get his confidence back here at Grand River, then go back to Mohawk Park and take them on. Looks sharp on the track right now. Garrett Rooney aboard, even money. Thinking that price is going to shrivel up come post time.
You're the one that you went to if Desperate Man isn't capable of getting the job done, or at least who you thought for the exactor ticket, Sea Laird. Tough start last race at Georgian, though.
Yeah, and it's been a tough start last time at Georgian, and before that, I mean, certainly it wasn't a tough trip, but he was kind of loose in the pocket to St. Lad's Cash. And Sea Laird's a horse to me that does his best work, on the engine, and he just kind of maintained his position, right? Didn't go get near that winner at all at 75 cents to the dollar. But the form's been good as of late. He's hit the board in 3 of his last 4, and this looks like a good spot for him if Desperate Man wasn't in here. So I think he's got to get forwardly placed off the gate from post 6, and he'll likely be a factor throughout. I just think it's a big ask to to think he can get the better of that rival tonight.
Number 9, St. Lad's Beat It, is one that we've seen in the past be a monster, but so far this year, 3 wins and 18 starts.
Yeah, 3 wins and 18 starts, but there's some recency for him, right? He won last time out at Sarnia in a softer spot than this, no doubt about it. Disappointed as the favorite. The Meadowlands 2 back got bet off the board on that occasion before having to settle for 3rd. Another one that's looking to kind of right the ship, but at least he's been trending in the right direction. But working from that trailing post, still 0 for the meet. I think that's going to be, something we're going to have to watch going forward. That starting spot's just really difficult to really get any piece of it so far this season. But I do think he's capable, right? And you said it. We've seen some monstrous efforts from St. Lad's Beat It over this service in the past. So maybe getting back here is going to, kind of reinvigorate that, and we'll see him come up with a big effort. But for me, it's going to be somewhere in the exotics, try or super.
And then your next one is 3, Bugsy McGuire. And, y'all ain't showing any respect to Redneck Jim, but we'll go with Bugsy McGuire. Here's your one on the bottom of the ticket.
I went back and forth between the two, and I thought that Redneck Jim would get over bet, which I think he is right now at 5-2. Bugsy McGuire, early speed, post 3, will likely get a nice seat off the gate, and I would think just stay on the pylons no matter where he ends up. and then maybe able to get a piece of it on the bottom. But I think he's a huge overlay right now, 30-1. Not that I think he can win the race, but 30-1 is way too big of a number, I think, on the 3 Bugsy McGuire. And Redneck Jim Gary, I know, claiming ranks now moving back to the optional claiming tag of $18,000, and this is like night and day the horse he's facing. It really is. I mean, this is much tougher, and it's post 7. He won from post 8 last time. That's against claimers. Desperate man certainly, carrying a higher price tag than $18,000 if he was for sale. So I don't think that, I can get there on him tonight, especially not at 3-1.
He certainly did look on fire, though, here last time out, and that was very impressive.
It was, there's no question about it. It's just, to me, there's a big difference in class, and he competed at this level already, 3-back. And to me, that was against a softer group. Bugsy McGuire won on that occasion. So now we're talking about a horse that's 9-1, was 30-1 a second ago. And now you're thinking we can go against and maybe be competitive against these. I think it's a big reach, but we'll see.
We will see, and right now we are seeing Desperate Man at even money. Somewhere in Tuscany, Barricade Willie and Bugsy McGuire on the inside. In the center, Desperate Man and Champagne Phil. And to the outside, C. Laird, Redneck Jim, and P.L. Oliver. And the second tier, St. Lads Beat It. It's a field of 9. It's race number 2. Here they come. And the field for race number 2. Gathering speed, they're at the start, and they're off. Bugsy McGuire, somewhere in Tuscany. C. Laird, Redneck Jim, Desperate Man, as the field works on around the turn, but the early lead will go to Bugsy McGuire, and Redneck Jim, y'all, is moving fast on the outside. Redneck Jim is going to come on now, and is fixing to take the lead. Bugsy McGuire's racing second, somewhere in Tuscany is third. Desperate Man is fourth away, as they roll on to the opening quarter. Bearcat Willie, C. Laird, and then St. Lads Beat It, and Champagne Phil, and P.L. Oliver. Redneck Jim at 6-1 has the lead as they work on around the turn. Bugsy McGuire second. There goes Desperate Man. Now he's going to move on the outside first over. Somewhere in Tuscany is racing fourth, and then it is C. Laird, and back to Bearcat Willie, and then moving out as they race off the turn is St. Lads Beat It. But right now it is Redneck Jim who's got the lead. Halftime recorded off a 27-second opening quarter. The half was recorded in 56-2. Desperate Man to the outside is racing second, but is working first over against a sharp-looking Redneck Jim. And Bugsy McGuire is racing third. Then somewhere in Tuscany, and C. Laird and Bearcat Willie and St. Lads Beat It. Desperate Man on the outside now is going to grab the front from Redneck Jim. Desperate Man on the outside, Bugsy McGuire, and then Redneck Jim, and now starting to retreat on the inside. And on the outside, C. Laird has taken over third. Now Redneck Jim has got the four-way flashers on. St. Lads Beat It has taken over fourth, and fifth is somewhere in Tuscany. And Redneck Jim now is dropping back on the inside, but Desperate Man as they turn for home. On down the stretch rod they come, and Desperate Man is home and cooled out. Bugsy McGuire was second, then finishing third, C. Laird, and fourth was St. Lads Beat It. 51-4. Desperate Man. Giddy up, Rob.
Yeah, Desperate Man, what I expected to see from him, right? I mean, those 2 efforts at Mohawk Park, again, he needs them under his feet. And now that he's got that little bit of foundation under him, he comes out today in a spot where he's not supposed to, lose, and he does exactly that. Goes out and just absolutely crushes. Look at the tail up at the wire, feeling good about himself. This is the kind of thing that'll catapult him right back, up the ranks. I think even at Mohawk Park, because I mean he's too good of a horse to make a mistake in this spot. And you see Garrett Rooney right now just kind of hanging on to the wire. And listen, Redneck Jim, that big gate leaving move from post 7. It takes a lot out of them, right? And this is just a different caliber of horse. I mean, we've seen it with him before. He'll likely go back to those claiming handicap race and be perfectly fine and probably go out there and win. But this was an especially tough top condition class on this occasion, with Desperate Man making the trip over.
And it's not a shock that he paces here in 151-4. He went over Flamborough in 149-1. Problem is, Line Drive Hanover went over it in 149, which is the Flamborough track record.
That was an incredible race too in the Juravinsky Memorial Cup. I remember that one, and he showed an incredible gate move on that occasion. I think from post 7 it was, and people didn't think he could leave. Right, I remember everyone was so surprised. How did Desperate Man get off the gate like that? But he's such a talented racehorse. I was the pleasure of seeing him up close and personal. He won the North America Cup in 2021. I was working the broadcast at Mohawk Park that night, and really happy to see him get back into the win column here tonight. I don't want to say get off the schneid because he's too good of a horse to say that. But I'm happy with the results underneath there, Gary. Too. This might pay okay, and I've got it a couple times.
Well, and those were your three underneath. I mean, you had it 693, but it's a 369. But you had the right idea and the ones to use, and they're at a price. So, and you got it a few times. That's lovely. I'm happy for you. I'm a team player. I'm happy for you.
Team player, Gary. It's funny when they got to the half and Redneck Jim was on top. I'm like, oh man, if this ever works out, I'm never going to hear the end of it. I was going to put the headset down and walk away. That's what I was going to do.
I would not have said a word. I'd have been very polite about it.
No, there you go. Listen, happy to see Desperate Man. There he is. Look at that. North America Cup champ, folks, here at Grand River. Pleasure to see him.
Back in front of us is number 4, Desperate Man. 5-year-old Shadow Play Bay gelding owned by Kathy and John Chikeen and Nicole and Paul Davies. Kathy Chikeen is the trainer. Garrett Rooney, the winning driver. First win of the year for Desperate Man. 9th lifetime. 151-4. The second raise payouts for Desperate Man 260, 230, 210. 3 Bugs McGuire 630, $4, and 6 Sea Laird 310, $2 double. Forget the double for now. How about the $2 exact for $11.90? Dollar try $14.90. Dollar super 59.40. And the double of 6 and 4 41.20. The second race order finish from the top down is 682-193-754. That is 682-193-754. Fans note in race number 3, it should note that number 2, Sand in My Stilettos, the driver is Colin Kelly. Race 3, number 2, Sand in My Stilettos, Colin Kelly should be listed. It's a program error, but Colin Kelly is the driver. Field for the third on parade. One, Shea Silster, Todd Ratchford drives and trains and owns. Number 2 is Sand in My Stilettos, Colin Kelly for Mark McDonnell. 3 is Mulligan Philly, Jay Harris for Gaetan Baron, Duncan and Shirley Boston, Mario Hebert. And number 4 is Zeb's Breaking Dawn, Chris Rogers for Doug High. Number 5 is Lamatain, Gary Rive for Matthew Rive Bohanec. Number 6, Easy, But I'm Not Cheap, Brett McDonough for Richard Moreau and Ken Middleton Jr. and Nora Parks and Lowell James and Anthony Frangis. And number 7 is Better Rock and Roll, Mike Horner for John Marshall. It's a field of 7. It's race number 3, Fillies and Mares Maiden Pacers for this third race. And, well, let's get a look at some of the main players in here. We both went to Easy, But I'm Not Cheap. And, well, Richard Moreau, second start for Richard Moreau. First one didn't go well, but should like this venue change.
Yeah, I think so. We usually see them have success, right, when they make that transition from Mohawk Park, over here to Grand River. Got beat by a wide margin first start, Moreau. But you still look for some kind of positive, right? Back half was 56-3, Gary, and I think that, certainly is going to like it better here against the competition she goes up against tonight. 7-2, she's a value right now. I thought that we're gonna, the betting public's gonna zero in on two horses in here: the 3 Mulligan Filly and the 6 Easy But I'm Not Cheap. But there's some others in here that might have a chance as well.
You do see a good back half in that start. I know people will look at that 10th and just go, ooh, but really, this could work out. 3-1, I'd like that. 3 Mulligan Filly. Well, another one that you look at the last race and at first glance you might not like, but 55 and 2 back half, and you do see this one racing okay at Georgian.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little bit of form to work with there, right? Whereas with Easy But I'm Not Cheap, we're just hoping that she's going to like the transition. Well, we've already seen Mulligan Philly turn in some credible performances at Georgian Downs, and that effort, at Mohawk, got away 7th off the gate, was never really in at any point. But like you mentioned, 55 and 2 back half. You've got to look for, the positives, I guess, when you've got ones coming over from there and they're getting beat by a wide margin. And that's why I think, we're always going to gravitate towards the horses coming from there. They're going to show the faster times. But in this case, I do think they're the two to beat. Mulligan Philly taking more of the support right now at 6-5. I went the other direction, and I'm happy with the bigger price. But it's pretty difficult to separate the two, especially considering they're coming off an effort where they got beat by such a big gap.
Number 2, Sand in My Stilettos, is getting a little bit better, but still has to improve to get into the top 3.
Yeah, but first time Lasix tonight, right? That's got to definitely help some things out. I think that if you're looking for some kind of an angle to go on in here, that's a change that I do like. Obviously, second start Lasix is something I jump on a little more heavily, but the last 2 efforts were okay, right? This is one of you remember I was really fond of. It was on June 5th, racing off a layoff for new connections, and then the next start really wasn't that great, but then came back with a couple of fours that were decent. And now Inside Post has shown a little bit of early foot, and she faces some horses that there's some question marks around. No question about that. So I don't mind the 6-1 right now. I've got her in the multis though. I'm not so sure I'd be betting her to win in here, but I think one you definitely have to take notice of.
What's interesting is 4 Zeb's Breaking Dawn, because actually that back half in that last start was pretty solid. That kind of speed here in this spot compares well.
Yeah, it does. And, we mentioned that going into that effort, right? Flat line now to her credit. The pacing hobbles are back on. And then now second start, she raced pretty well again. She got away 7th off the gate, like you said, big back half. And I thought it was a decent effort. The problem is, what's the journey going to look like tonight? Not so sure this one has any early foot off the gate. So she'll be likely working from behind. I think she gets a smaller piece of it, bottom end of the Trier Super.
Well, number 3, Mulligan Philly, is the even money favorite, but both Rob and I are on number 6, Easy But I'm Not Cheap. That now has come down to a cheaper price, 2-1. Taking up their position, Shea Sealster, Sand in My Stilettos on the inside. Mulligan Philly, Zeb's Breaking Dawn, Lamatang to the outside. Easy But I'm Not Cheap and Better Rock and Roll. It's a field of 7. It's race numero 3. It is post time. Giddy up. Field for the 3rd in the stretch, gathering speed, approaching the start. And they're at the start of the rough. Mulligan Philly, Sand in My Stilettos, Zeb's Breaking Dawn, then Easy But I'm Not Cheap and Lamatane. The field darts around that first turn, and Mulligan Philly has got the lead. Racing second, Sand in My Stilettos. Lamatane is third, then Shea Sealster. Easy But I'm Not Cheap is racing third from last, and then Zeb's Breaking Dawn. And Better Rock and Roll is back trailing the field. Mulligan Philly leads by about 2.5 lengths over Sand in My Stilettos, with Lamatane third, Shea Sealster fourth. Easy But I'm Not Cheap is fifth, and then Zeb's Breaking Dawn. And Better Rock and Roll has to pass 6 to have a better outing as they race on around the turn. And off opening quarter at 29-1, they head up towards the half, and Mulligan Philly 2-5 on the board as they roll on towards us. Sand in My Stilettos is second. Lamatane is racing position to third. And then Shea Sealster, and then it is back to Easy But I'm Not Cheap, was going to come to the outside, but has work to do. And then Zeb's Breaking Dawn, 59-1 halftime, 32nd second panel, and they work their way on into the backstretch. stretch, and Mulligan Philly is still leading and is sharply in front by about 3 right now over Sand in My Stilettos. Lamontagne is third, and then Easy But I'm Not Cheap is just sharing fourth with Shea Seals. But right now it's all Mulligan Philly. Mulligan Philly 2 to 5 on the board, and Mulligan Philly is racing comfortably in command. 3/4, 128 and 2. Mulligan Philly, Sand in My Stilettos. Easy But I'm Not Cheap on the outside. Trying to take third, but Lamontagne is holding on to third right now. Shea Sealter broke stride, and Zeb's Breaking Dawn is kicking in hardly at the field turns for home. Mulligan Philly, and then on the inside, Sand in My Stilettos, and Zeb's Breaking Dawn is flying at the finish, but will only be third. And then Lamontagne was fourth at a mile of 158 flat. Mulligan Philly does not need a mulligan for this effort, Rob.
No, not at all. Much the best. Went to the front and certainly just controlled things throughout. There was never really anyone that could challenge her. She kind of was waiting on her rivals a couple times in that mile, but just needed to be reminded a little bit. And then you see she wins with ease to the wire with Jay Harris with a tight hold on her there at the finish line. And it was one of those ones, Gary, where we mentioned it, right? She had shown probably the best form in her effort prior to that latest at Mohawk Park, and then she went out and proved it. I mean, she went out and was the boss on this time around at Grand River. An easy victory in 58 flat.
I think if you're watching this race, one of the things you got to pick out of it is that for Zeb's Breaking Dawn, if she was a little more sure-footed early, because I think Chris had to be pretty careful with her, she was flying late.
Yeah, she was. She's definitely one that you got to, kind of keep an eye on and be mindful of, because she's certainly shown progressing form, right, in her recent efforts. Does make those miscues early, but they've been kind of, under wraps in her last few anyways. Did have to kind of be steady early in the mile this time around, but does finish with a lot of vigor. So I thought that she's one that, has been racing well as of late. And if she keeps on trending in the right direction, we'll likely see her in the winner's circle at some point.
And the two, you were on that one earlier, a few races back, and she kind of disappointed you, but now she at least came up with a better outing to finish second.
Yeah, she would have been a fantastic number for my pick 5 tonight. I used her because of the first time Lasix angle, and thought that we'd see her kind of produce a better effort. She did, just was a second best by a lot to the 3 Mulligan Philly.
And I should mention the inquiry sign will go up. The judges reviewing the break of number 4, Zeb's Breaking Dawn. And coming back in front of us, number 3, Mulligan Philly, 3-year-old Shanghai Phil Bay Philly, owned by Duncan and Shirley Bust and Mario Hebert. Gaetan Hebert, the trainer. Jay Harris, the winning driver. It's the first win for Mulligan Philly, 158 flat. Note it is the driving double on the evening for the Green Arrow, Jay Harris. Fans, the judges ruling that there were no violations of the braking regulations. The inquiry sign will go off. The third race, it's three Mulligan Philly, 280, 240, and 210. Two Sand and My Stilettos, 460 and 330. Four Zeb's Breaking Dawn, $2.40. $2 Exactor, 1460. Dollar Try, 1805. Dollar Super, 71.30. Field for the third. Third race order finish in the top, 621, 3457. That's 621, 3457 on the bottom. Field 4, race number 4 is on parade. 1, 2 across, Marion. Nick Boyd for James Dean. And number 2 is Line Shining, Samuel Filioff for Ashley Lenfoy and Thomas Knight. Number 3, Brinley Silser, Garrett Rooney for Bud Sinclair and Jack Darling Stables Limited. Number 4 is Joyful Lady, Colin Kelly for Wayne McKean and David Ratchford. Number 5 is Quite Nice, Brett McDonough for Bob McIntosh and Al McIntosh. Number 6, Avalon Freeze, Anthony Hahn for Anthony Beaton and SSG Stables. And number 7, Handbag of Cheesies, Jay Harris for Wilfred Perot and Joanne and Grant Kernow. It's a field of 7 for race number 4. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, Rob, understandably enough, Joyful Lady is getting a lot of love and certainly looked good here last race. Plus those 52 and change miles at Mohawk, they kind of stand out.
They do, and I mean that form reference too, right? I love it when we see something kind of play out before our eyes tonight for a form reference, and there it is. She was a winner last time over Storybook Bella, who we saw cause the upset in the opener, and that was in a tougher class, right? So that one actually moved up and was a winner and a dominant winner at that. And now Joyful Lady comes back at the same level, and was a winner in here last time, and like you said before that was going some big miles at Mohawk Park against significantly tougher horses. So she's won, 3 in a row here at Grand River, and we've seen a lot of horses, enjoy some streaks here this meet. Obviously, some defeats in between at Mohawk Park, but let's get on the track right now. And I think the clear one to beat, 6-5. No doubt that that form reference from the opener is probably causing more support to go her way. Probably expecting her to be this price or even money come post time.
Number 5, Quite Nice, is one that could be nice here getting away from Mohawk. And you go back and you see that this one had some success here back last fall.
Yeah, it was Brett McDonald actually, drove her to victory at Western Fair in her final start of her rookie campaign, and did have some success over this service as well. She hit the board in 4 of 7 at 2. This season hasn't had the same success, but she's been facing tougher, obviously, right? She's had 3 starts and not one is a win at Mohawk Park, and another 3 against OSS grassroots rivals. So you'd have to think this is going to be a more palatable spot for her. I thought she looks like the main danger, and I kind of looked at them as there not being much between them. But I'll be honest, now I'm leaning heavily in the direction of Joyful Lady after what we saw in the opening dash tonight. But I think Quite Nice is not one you can underestimate.
1, 2 across, Marion. Well, 7-1, and one that, well, you do see a couple of wins, and one of those here. 56-4 was a pretty good mile here 3 races ago. 56-4 at Sarnia last race isn't as fast as, of course, it is here.
No, not at all. But a decent group, right? Prospect Series kind of like a mixed bag sometimes, right? You kind of go up against anyone in there. That occasion, I thought that was kind of a deeper group for her to go up against. And then before that, a decent enough third to steady as we go in Chocolate for Lunch. And then, like you mentioned, 2 victories, including one here in the opening round, or sorry, second round of the Prospect Series. I just thought that with rail control tonight, she's a horse that's shown ability, right? She's hit the board in 7 of 15 so far in her career. With the right kind of trip, she can get a big piece of it. I think she's an overlay right now, to be honest, Gary, at 7-1. I thought she would take more support, and I came close to using her in some of the multi-leg wagers, but then I kind of thought, you know what, I'm going to single Joyful Lady on some and go too deep with the 4 and 5 on others. Didn't use her, but I think you've got to use her in the exotics.
Number 3, Brinley Sealster took a lot of love last time out. Race the Joyful Lady won, and left well, got the lead, but still left a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, she took a lot of love from me on that occasion too. I thought we'd see a big effort from her. Love the gate move, right? From the same post she has tonight, she went to the lead, then she got covered up in the 2 hole, and I said, okay, we should see a pretty good effort from Brindley Sealster here. Didn't really fire though, right? She kind of gapped out, gapped out in the final turn, and at one point I thought she might fade out of it. She ended up holding her ground to finish third in the end. Just behind 2 lengths behind the winner, Joyful Lady and Storybook Bella. so maybe I guess I was a bit hard on her, putting her back to fourth on this occasion, but third in her last two. I think she needs to step up off her latest. Liked what she did two back, not so much what she did last time here at the river. So if she can move a step forward, though, she can certainly make her presence felt against this group. And I think you can't leave her off the try and super just because inside post, early foot, she'll likely be in the right spot.
You know who I think is a big value is Handbag of Cheesies, 30 to 1. Maybe I'm just hungry, but Handbag of Cheesies, that last race, not good at Georgian, but look at the one just two back.
And that's a non-winner to two, right? I mean, that's a pretty solid group she's going up against. And like you said, that effort two back would put her right here, right there against this group. So 30 to 1, definitely an overlay. Post seven to work from, but hey, aggressive driver Jay Harris. We've seen him set him forward off the gate tonight.
Yeah, and I do love a Handbag of Cheesies, although they're no hickory sticks. Two across Marion, lines shining on the inside. In the center, Brindley Sealster, Joyful Lady, and Quite Nice. And to the outside, Avalon Freeze and Handbag of Cheesies. Field of 7, race number 4. It's a field of 7 for the 4th race. And they're at the start. And they're off, and two across Marion on the inside is going to leave out well, Quite Nice to the outside. Brindley, Sealster, Joyful Lady. Those the first 4. Then it is Avalon Freeze and Line Shining, and a Handbag of Cheesies is back trailing the field. Two across Marion has the lead as they work their way on into the backstretch. Joyful Lady on the outside now has moved up and taken over second, and now Joyful Lady wants the joy of clearing to the front. Two across Marion's racing position second. Then third in line is Brindley Sealster, and Quite Nice is fourth. Then it's Avalon Freeze and back the line shining, and Handbag of Cheesies has yet to get munching, is trailing 28-1 the opening quarter. Joyful Lady's got the lead over two across Marion, with Brindley Sealter forwardly placed third, and Quite Nice is going to come to the outside now as they race off the turn. And Avalon Freeze is working on the outside and is racing second over fifth. Then it is back to Lines is Shining and Handbag of Cheesies. 58-4 is the halftime, and they work their way on past the 5/8 and into the backstretch. Joyful Lady, Quite Nice is getting a little bit closer, and then two across Marion on the inside is third, and Avalon Freeze is now second over fourth and up a little bit closer. Then Brindley Sealster, Handbag of Cheesies now is coming on. Then it is back to the trailer. Lines is Shining. Joyful Lady trying to fend off Quite Nice. Joyful Lady is now got the lead back to a half a length over Quite Nice. Two across Marion's racing third. And then it is Avalon Freeze and Brindley Sealster. Handbag of Cheesies and Lines Shining. Joyful Lady as they turn for home. Quite Nice on the outside hasn't gone away. Joyful Lady as they come on down the stretch drive. Up the inside is two across Marion, but Joyful Lady continues on. Joyful Lady, then Quite Nice. Thirds between Brindley, Sealster, and two across Marion. 156 flat. And, well, you might have the top 4 in order. I'm not sure which way it went third for fourth, but Joyful Lady clearly was the one in there.
Yeah, clearly. We saw that, right? Just really, I said it. Her stock skyrocketed, Gary, after that first race and seeing what Storybook Bella did, and 3 to 5 ended up being about the price I was expecting on her, and Quite Nice, good effort, right, to be second there. But Joyful Lady, she wanted the lead off the gate. She's been racing well here at the river. I mean, now she's got quite a little win streak of her own happening here, and she just kind of kept driving out for the lead. Decent little breather in the second quarter, and she's gonna be tough to catch off that in the form that she's been in as of late. So 3 to 5 on the board. Chalk Exacta comes in too, Quite Nice second. Photo for third. Obviously, I'd prefer two across Marion, but hey, I thought they both raced pretty well too. Two across Marion, nice effort, kind of following along, and then sticking around for a big piece. And I think Brindley Sealster was a better effort than last time.
Now Joyful Lady has 7 wins in 13 starts, so winning at more than 50%. We'll see some more fine things out of Joyful Lady, and we're going to see if you do have the 1-2 across Marion for third. We don't have it posted up yet.
Yeah, I think Joyful Ladies won. We saw Storybook Bella go up the ladder and get the job done. So I think that no issue with her maybe even taking a step up to the next level. She's been racing well enough that I think she'd merit respect in there.
Now look at that 4513. You got the top four. So very fine handicapping, but you got to improve your mic technique, buddy.
My mic technique?
You come blasting on at the beginning, like you come in too hot.
Oh, okay. I'll try to simmer it down a little bit for you.
There you go. Simmer down, bud. Back in front of us is number 4, Joyful Lady, a 3-year-old rock and roll dance bay filly, owned by Dave Ratchford, trained by Wayne McKean, and Colin Kelly. The winning drive, 4th race win this year, 7th lifetime, 156 flat. The 4th race payouts for Joyful Lady, 330, 230, 210, 5 quite nice, 350, 251, 2 across Marion, 290, $2 exactor, $9.90, dollar try, $14.20, dollar super, $28.35. The fourth race. Order finished in the top down, 3641257. That's 3641257 on the bottom. Field for race number 5 on parade. 1 JJ Powerball Austin. Sorry for Rachel Andrew. Number 2 is YS Delight. Jason Ryan for Gary McDonald. Number 3 is Ham Sandwich. Steve Houdon for Laura Toscani. And number 4, None Your Business. Travis Henry for Kevin Botts and Marion Len Christopher. Number 5 is Mark Jacobs, Daryl Thiessen for Kim Smith. Number 6, He's a Handyman, Mike Horner for Mark Horner. And number 7, Rock and Bow, Paul McKenzie for Catherine Flanagan and Winters Racing. Number 8, Hawley's Treasure, Garrett and Rudy for Cassidy Schneider and Colonel Schneider Jr. And 9 is Real Wicked, Brett McDonough for Michelle Sherman and Gary Anderson and Mark West Racing and Sean Downey and Dave Simpson. It's a field of 9, race number 5, the Mallet Creek Group. Oh, look at that, Rob. It says here, they're hiring. Maybe I can get a job and fans can get a real race announcer. Let's take a look at the field for this race number 5. Number 6, He's a Handyman. You love this one.
I do. I'm always very fond of this horse. I know that I might have rose-colored glasses for him as well, but that's okay. He's been good to me. He really has 8 victories from 33 starts last season. And this year he's had success as well. 6 on the board finishes and 15 starts. And I thought the effort last time was a good one. It was in the top condition class. Ideal Perception was the winner. He got away 4th off the gate, just maintained his position. And he really, hadn't raced in some time before that. And that's a good tightener for him. Now he gets to face a softer group. Does have to shift out to post 6, but that's okay for him because he's the type of horse that I think does his best work off a helmet and has had some really nice efforts where he comes from off the pace. So he might go forward off the gate tonight. He's got that option, but I think that either way, he can be right there at the wire. 7-1, love the price.
Number 4, None Your Business. Well, that last race kind of did in his business, but he showed some good stuff at Clinton, and you watch those races. I mean, you watch races from everywhere. What do you think about Clinton?
I do. I thought they were good. I mean, the start 2 back obviously went to the lead and then kind of stopped on the end of it. Before that, he went all the way on the engine. And most recently here, Gary, he was handled aggressively from post 6 against a real solid group. Ended up first over for a long way before fading out of it. I can't really fault him for that. So I thought there'd be a big opportunity to take back some value on a horse here that, yeah, he was a bomb at that level last time, but he really should have, if he comes into that just with a decent line under his belt, I think he'd be taking a lot more support in here. So I think 6-1 is the right number, and I like a couple of horses on top here that are both good prices right now.
Number 3, Ham Sandwich. As soon as I saw this one in, I said, I'm all over this. Like I said, I might have been just hungry when I made this pick, but I really liked what I saw of Ham Sandwich last time out here.
Yeah, and we thought that he was sitting on a big effort, right? Because he kind of, blasted the lead from post 7 to start before that and then backed up. Usually horses will kind of benefit from that kind of experience over this oval. Had a little bit of time between starts and ended up going first over a long way last time before finishing 3rd to Better Be Gouda. I just thought this is a tougher group now. Like, He's a Handyman is a horse that's, he's competitive at the preferred level, for underneath pieces, and he, typically wins, comes out on top anyways in top condition classes on the B tracks. And you've got None Your Business, who I think's been in good form as well. I just thought Ham Sandwich is meeting a tougher group in here. I really did. Even YS Delight as well. So even money's too short in my opinion, but if he wins, I wouldn't be surprised.
You look at some of the measuring sticks, though, for YS Delight. Did finish in front of None Your Business 4 races ago from the trailer post, and even last race. Harper's Hat Trick's a good one, although not as good this year, but still good measuring sticks.
Yeah, it is. And YS Delight's another versatile type. He can win from anywhere. And he's a horse that you can never really, kind of leave out. He's coming from Clinton as well, and I think with the right kind of trip, he can be right there at the wire.
And I have to wonder if we're punishing JJ Powerball for that last race from post 7. Now has post 1. It is a field of 9 for race number 5. Let's look at the field in behind the gate. JJ Powerball, YS Delight, and Ham Sandwich in the center. None Your Business and Mark Jacobs to the outside. He's a handyman. Rockin' Bow. Holly's Treasure. Second tier. Real Wicked. It's a field of 9 for race number 5. Ham Sandwich is going to blast up. None ya business. JJ Powerball. Wise Light, Mock Jacobs, and Real Wicked along to the inside. Then it is back to He's a Handyman and Rockin' Bow. And Holly's Treasure. Ham Sandwich has got the lead. 7-5 on the board. None ya business right there in the pocket. JJ Powerball third. Then Wise Delight is racing fourth. Then it is back to Real Wicked and Mock Jacobs, and He's a Handyman and Rockin' Bow. And Holly's Treasure trailing the field. Ham Sandwich leads on around the turn. The Roan is in front by a length and 3/4. None ya business second. JJ Powerball is third. Then Wise Delight took out. And Rockin' Bow is rocking on the outside, second over. Then it is back to Real Wicked, Mock Jacobs, and then further back, He's a Handyman and Holly's Treasure. Ham Sandwich looks for a breather off at 27-4 opening quarter. It is Ham Sandwich and Steve Houdon with tight lines as they race on past the half. None ya business racing second. Wise Delight is on the outside and working first over. And on the inside, JJ Powerball. Then it is Rockin' Bow. Half was 58-1 and a 30-2 second panel breather. Racing sixth is Real Wicked. Then He's a Handyman, Mock Jacobs, and then Holly's Treasure. It is Ham Sandwich as they race their way. On toward 3/4. Ham Sandwich. None ya business is getting the trip. Wise Delight trying to close on the outside, but might have flattened out a little bit. And then Rockin' Bow on the outside. Now moving out, JJ's Powerball. And up the inside is Real Wicked. Ham Sandwich, sharp 3/4, 126-3. Ham Sandwich, none ya business. And racing third, Wise Delight. Then JJ Powerball and Real Wicked on down the stretch route they come. Ham Sandwich, I'm hungry for some Ham Sandwich, Rob. Wins it by 2. None ya business thirds between Wise Delight and Real Wicked. 155 flat. A scrumptious effort.
Yeah, it was. It was a real nice effort there from Ham Sandwich. And listen, you love him tonight. I thought he had a big chance, but I just thought the price would be a little too short. Good effort last time to be first over, a long way before selling for third this time, leaving no doubts about it on the engine. Horse that does have a lot of speed off the gate. Went to the lead and did not disappoint. Gary had got 7-5. None ya business, 2-hole trip. Much better result this time around. I thought he was value on the board too, going off at a decent number, but had to settle for the play spot.
And of course, 58 1/2 plays a big part. But look, he kept on trucking at a mile of 55, so legit.
Yeah, definitely legit, and a horse that you got to kind of respect the fact that first start obviously went to the lead. All kinds of early foot off the gate from post 7, faded to 8th last time. Obviously a much better effort, and then this time around plays Catch Me If You Can and ends up being much the best. So I thought it was a real solid effort. A horse that might be able to do good things for these connections up here north of the border. And he's a handyman for me. He's one I'll probably come back to. Never had much of a chance throughout the contest.
It'd be interesting to see what Ham Sandwich does because lightly raced last year clearly must have had some problems because had 12 wins earlier in his career, and then this will be the first win in 2 seasons.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and he showed some form too before coming up here, right? So I think that after missing some significant time before debuting for these connections up here north of the border, obviously things are moving in the right direction for Ham Sandwich. Like you said, showed ability in the past, and now putting it all together.
Well, Rob, I do love me a ham sandwich, but not with cheese on it. Just ham, mustard, let's go eat it. 34291 back in front of us, number 3, Ham Sandwich, a Roan 6-year-old. Tell it like it is, gelding. Oh, but Laura Toscani and Steve Houdon. Laura Toscani, the trainer. Stephen Houdon, the winning driver. First win in 2 seasons for Ham Sandwich. 13th lifetime. 155 flat. Out trackside, the Malik Creek Group. They're hiring. The fifth race payouts, 3 ham sandwich, 483.20, 234. None your business. 423.10 to YS Delight, 290. Dollar win for is 1785. Dollar pick 5, 308.35. The dollar high 5, 614.05. The $2 exactor, numbers 3 and 4. $16.60 try, $21.85. Dollar pick 3, $15.75. The fifth race sort of finished in the top. 531-286-794. That's 531-286-794.
We've reached the halfway point of our card on this Monday night at Grand River Raceway. You know what that means, though? It's time for the late pick 5, low takeout 15%. We're going to get started off with a tricky little dash for 2-year-old pacing fillies. Always a little more difficult, right? When we have horses coming out that we may not have seen before or that are making their lifetime debuts. But these are rookie pacers. Got a field of 6, and I'm going with half of them here with the 1, 5, and 6. I do like the 5 Sweet Molly on top, mostly because she's got experience over this oval already. Good third last time for the trailing post. We know how difficult that spot's been this season. So 1, 5, and 6 for me in the opening leg, but this is a tricky looking dash of 2-year-old pacing fillies. Race 7 just too deep for me. The 1 and 3 kind of taking a stand in there, using the 1 having a party and the 3 on top. Are You Elegant? Going to the latter, those 2 on top and hoping for a price. There are some others that have, that look intriguing in there in race 7, but I'm just going to go too deep and keep the ticket affordable at $14.40. Race number 8, 1, 3, 4, and 6. Good looking claiming dash there for $7,000. And I thought this was a real snug group for that level. Difficult race, lots of early speed from various points of the gate. Some horses that can work from off the pace as well. I think we might see a price in there. So I'm spreading out 1, 3, 4, and 6. Race 9, the 3, 4, and 6 for me. Another, competitive looking dash, preferred 2 in the trot. I think that, could this run out formful? Of course it could, but we see some real competitive races where we might see some prices. I'm using Arrakis, Power and Grace, and Treasure T. Kind of like Power and Grace off 2 consecutive victories, and she loves it here at Grand River. So I think that we'll see her likely leaving out in search of the lead again. That's the way she races best. And race 10, well, that's where we're going to single on a very probable favorite, the 5 Royal Renegade. Went all the way in the lead last time before getting caught by Redneck Jim. We saw that one move up to take on much tougher tonight. We certainly like him at this level. So I think Royal Renegade is one that can go all the way on the engine this time and go the test. Got beat by 4 lengths last time, but was the best of the rest. So I think that he's the most probable winner, in this sequence. And we're going to single him at a short price and hope we can get there with some prices in our pocket. $14.40 for a 20-cent ticket. And that's the way that I see the late pick 5. But you've got a minute or two to map out your winning wagers for the late pick 5. Again, the takeout is always a low 15%. Well, there's Conley's ticket. Let's just take a quick look at Conley's ticket, singling up on the 5 here in the opening leg at Sweet Molly, the one I like as well. 3-1 on the board right now. Then he's going to go 2 by 2 with the 2 and 4 and the 1, 3. He likes the same horse I like in race 8. Shadow Moon Rising, one that might be a little bit of value in the multi-leg sequences. Race 9, the 3, 4, and 6. So we're on the same page there, me and Conley. And then he's got the 3, 5, 6, and 7. So he's going to try to beat Royal Renegade. He's going to start with a single at the start of the ticket and then try to beat the heavy favorite of the sequence in that money leg. But you got to map out your winning tickets for this late pick 5. We'll be back in a few moments to take a closer look at race number 6.
Field 4, race number 6 on Parade 1, McWicked Beach. Travis Henry for Francis Dumichel. Number 2 is All on Trish, Samuel Fillion for Jean Tournier. Number 3 is Heart Like a Truck, Paul McKenzie for Tisha Symes and Shirley Symes. And number 4, JoJo's Fire, Sylvain Lacaille for Kelly Duval Lacaille. Number 5 is Sweet Molly, Jason Ryan for Marie-Helene DuPont. And number 6, Black to Reality, Brent McDonough, Richard Moreau, and Ken Middleton Jr., Nora Parks, and Jeffrey Seibel, and James Grant. Field of 6, race number 6. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, Rob, we both went with number 5, Sweet Molly. And the sweet thing here is that this one's had experience over this track.
Yeah, that's why I like her in here, and I thought that she finished up nicely last time to finish third, beating 5 lengths to a horse that I thought was a solid winner, and even the runner-up in there I thought raced really well as well. So I think that Sweet Molly's also trailing post, right, Gary? We keep talking about that being an impossible spot this season. She got away 5th from that spot and ended up making up good ground to claim that show spot and progressing form, right? 2 starts over the surface, race better in each of them. I think that we're going to likely see her take another step forward tonight, and she's got an experience edge over most of this field, and the ones that she doesn't have an experience edge over, well, she's got an experience edge over this surface. So I thought she looks like the right direction to go in here. I was really happy with the price earlier. It's shortening up rapidly down to 2-1 now. Wouldn't be surprised to see her go off as the favorite.
Yeah, you keep talking about the trailer post, but I don't listen because I got burnt on that the last race of Friday night. So I'm going to try to listen to you on that one. How about number 1, McWicked Beach? Outside post at Mohawk certainly flashed some speed.
Yeah, it definitely did flash the speed, in the early stages. I mean, 31-2, but still, like when they're qualifying, she's a 2-year-old filly. She's learning the ropes. She had a clear margin throughout. I watched that replay a few times just to see what kind of pressure she was under coming to the wire. She was asked. There's no question about it. She saw the whip of times from Louis-Philippe Bois, but she still came home in 28-2, decent back half, held off her rival, and there was a huge margin back to the horse that finished third in there. So I looked at it and said, you know what, if you're going to show that early foot from post 8, Mohawk Park in the qualifier, pole position, she'll likely try to push out of there. And I mean, that effort, if she takes a step forward off it, she might be good enough to win. 7-2 right now on the board. I expected her to take some support. I thought maybe 3-1 was the right price, so we're just a shade over that right now. Might still come down come post time, but I think you got to respect her chances.
And for a 2-year-old filly, came home 27-3 at the start qualifier before it, so that's interesting as well. Number 6, Black to Reality. Well, you do see a good back half last time out, but still overall was way back. But I mean, that all depends on who that she was in against, and you follow all those horses.
Yeah, staying with Emily was a nice winner. And actually, the horse that finished second is staying with Emily. It was my best bet in her next start. I believe that's going to be tomorrow night at Mohawk Park. So one of those ones where it comes down to the competition she was facing. Plus, she gets away 9th off the gate from post 8. She's never in it. It's so hard to kind of gauge the performances of horses like that when they get beat by a wide margin. I watched it a few times to see if she had any pace to the wire. I mean, the third quarter was 27-2 for her. Before that got put into play and faded back to 7. So she definitely showed some gears, though, right, going, in the middle stages of that race. And I thought the qualifier was a good one. So there's definitely something there for Black to Reality. Second start now, Richard Moreau. Easier, competition here at the river. Outermost post to work from, but I think it's a race where really she can kind of attack them from anywhere. 8-5 on the board right now. The price to me is a little bit short. I still prefer Sweet Molly, especially at a touch higher in the odds board.
Number 2, All on Trish. I was just looking. July the 6th, raced at Mohawk. First to start for a 2-year-old filly, and the race goes in 53-2. The speed that they flash early in their career now.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, they have to go so fast out of the gates, especially on that oval, right? And I mean, it's tough when you've got one coming in with 207, 158-2, and she drops a little bit of time, but she's not even in the same time zone as her rivals. I just thought, now with that start under her belt, getting to a surface where she might enjoy herself. Post 2, she can get a piece of it. 10-1 on the board, not a terrible price when you got to use in the exotics.
Well, the tote board is suggesting the 1, 5, and 6 are the 3 to talk about in here, and those are the ones we talked about, plus the 2 All on Trish. We'll see how it unfolds. Wicked Beach and All on Trish on the inside. In the center, Heart Like a Truck and JoJo's Fire to the outside, Sweet Molly and Black to Reality. It's a field of 6. It's race number 6. And the field for race number 6 in the stretch drive, gathering speed. There at the start of the rough, and Black to Reality is going to leave out with Sweet Molly. McWicked Beach on the inside, then all on Trish. Heart Like a Truck and JoJo's Fire. But Black to Reality firing around that first turn is going to grab the lead right away. And racing second is Sweet Molly. Then it is McWicked Beach who's positioned third as they work their way on into the backstretch, and then all on Trish, and then it is back to Heart Like a Truck. And JoJo's Fire is trailing the field as they work their way on up to the opening quarter. And Black to Reality at 4-1 has the lead. Black to Reality, Sweet Molly second, McWicked Beach is third. Field is spread out. All on Trish is fourth, in front of Heart Like a Truck and JoJo's Fire. But Black to Reality right now leads by 5:30-1 opening quarter. Sweet Molly's racing second, and McWicked Beach is positioned to third as they work their way on up past us. And halftime off that 30-1 opening quarter was recorded in 1 minute and 3/5, equal splits, or at least pretty close, as they work their way on into the backstretch. And then racing second, Sweet Molly, still about 3 1/4 back, and McWicked Beach is third. Then about 6 or 7 to all on Trish, and then it is back to Heart Like a Truck and JoJo's Fire. But Black to Reality as they race on towards 3/4. We'll see if Black to Reality is going to come back to the next two chasing. Sweet Molly getting a little closer at 9-5. 3/4, 129-2, 28-4 third panel, and it is Black to Reality. Sweet Molly trying to close the gap. It's down to a length and a half, and third is McWicked Beach. They turn for home. Black to Reality. Sweet Molly chasing Black to Reality as they come on down the stretch ride. Black to Reality. Sweet Molly getting closer. Black to Reality. Sweet Molly as they come to the finish. Sweet Molly just gets by. Black to Reality was second. McWicked Beach is third, and JoJo's Fire was fourth. A mile of 1:58-1. Sweet Molly was able to get it done. I wasn't sure if it was going to be possible with that half of 1:03, but fine effort, Rob.
Yeah, it was a good effort, and she sat in a loose pocket for a lot of that mile, Gary. And that experience over the surface, we said too, right? Progressing form. She's gotten better with every single start. Well, after she got away in the 2-hole, she's going to get better again tonight. She's got to go by, and she did. She went by Black to Reality in the final steps and did so with a little bit of authority on the very end of that. And you would feel good if you had the exacta box on 5.665 off the gate. They were the two that rushed off the gate and had a big margin on their rivals pretty soon in the mile.
Yeah, the top three kind of split from the back three, and so we thought the 1, 5, and 6 were the main three, and that's the way they came. And of course, then we get 3 Heart Like a Truck. But after the top three, it was just anyone's for fourth.
Yeah, it was. I mean, those three kind of, like you said, broke away from the field there. McWicked Beach didn't show a tremendous amount of foot off the gate, but obviously with the pole position, just ends up, pushing through for that 3-hole. Kind of moved to the outside, but I don't think there was going to be a chance to really make up much ground when the half was 1 minute and 3, right? So that gives a big edge to the leader and the pocket sitter. And I think Sweet Molly again was one that that experience over this surface and the way she closed last time, you figure she was going to definitely take a crack at Black to Reality at the wire. And these horses ended up going off at pretty decent numbers, right? Sweet Molly was 9-5. I kind of expected her to go off at around 2-1 or 9-5, but Black to Reality floated her up to 4-1.
That's a pretty good effort. That's a 57-2 back half, and also wasn't on the lead at 1 minute and 3, so that was like about a 57-second back half for the 5.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll see her do good things going forward. Nice, like I said, I always like when you see a horse improving with every start.
Back in front of us is 5 Sweet Molly, 2-year-old Sweet Lou Bay filly, owned by CSL of Sorel Tracy Quebec and Marie-Helene DuPont. The trainer, Jason Ryan, the winning driver, Sweet Molly, 158 flat. The sixth race payouts 5 Sweet Molly, 580, 340, 210, 6 Black to Reality, 410, $3 and 1 McWicked Beach, 220, $2 exact, 1820, Dollar Trap, $22, Dollar Super, 65.10. The sixth race payouts, the sixth race order finish rather, 356412. That's 356412.
Sweet Molly, a winner in race number 6. That was a single for Conley Ecclestone. So his ticket's looking pretty good. Me and Gary still alive as well. Our top choice getting it done in that race. And Conley, by the way, has a Twitter account at River Insider. You don't want to check that out because he does provide some really cool stats on there, useful stats too about winning post positions, where horses win, where they're shipping from, all kinds of cool stuff. Driver trainer, all of it updated, in a timely fashion as well. So check out at River Insider on Twitter for those cool stats about Grand River Raceway. Well, let's take a look though now at the late pick 4, getting started right here in race number 7. Low takeout, 15%. And well, for me, I'm always going to keep it true to my pick 5 for the most part, right? I'm going to stick with the same numbers throughout and just try to get through with an economical ticket. $4.80. That's the cost of it for a 20-cent ticket. 1 and 3 in here. Wow, big price on the board right now. Having a party 6-1 for a start of her sophomore campaign for Nick Galucci, Millar Farms. The 3 on top are elegant. One I have on top in this race, I believe, 16-1 on the board. Like it, like that price. The 2 Kalina Diamond 9-5. If I was using 2 more, it would have been the 2 and 6, but I didn't want to spend more than that $4.80. Race number 8, 1, 3, 4, and 6. Thinking that's a wide open looking $7,000 claimer. Some intriguing angles in there as well. We'll get to that when we get to the race, but I'm going 4 deep with the 1, 3, 4, and 6. Race 9, the 3, 4, and 6. Of course, that's the feature. It's a preferred 2 on the trot, competitive looking group. A lot of different angles in there as well. I'm going to go with those 3, but I'm going to be honest. I mean, I could have used a couple more in there to feel comfortable. And race 10, that's my single. I think the most probable winner in this pick 4 sequence and also in that pick 5 sequence, even though we just saw Sweet Molly go out and win, that's the 5 Royal Renegade. Last time went a long way on the engine before having to settle for second to Redneck Jim. That rival is not in there this week. We already saw him race against much tougher, and I think he'll be able to go all the way on the lead this time out from the same post that he had last time. So there's my ticket, $4.80, finishing off with a single of the likely heavy favorite in the 5 Royal Renegade in race number 10. And I think we got a shot of my one of my favorite shots here. There it is. Look at that. The Lion King shot right here at Grand River Raceway. Beautiful Allura sky, sunset. Gary's going to give me give me the gears when he comes back on, I'm sure. But love that shot. Brought to you by our wonderful broadcast team here at Grand River Raceway. Map out your winning wagers for this late pick 4 sequence. The horses will be moving out on the track in just a couple of minutes. We'll be back after that. Take a closer look at race number 7.
Field 4, race 7 on parade 1, having a party. Jason Ryan for Nicolucci and Miller Farms. Number 2 is Kalina Diamond, Natasha Day for Gary Mahan and Kimberly Mahan. And number 3 is On Top Are You Elegant, Brent Madonna for Walter Whalen and Chris Nickel. Number 4 is Matthews Rita, Anthony Hahn for Lori LePage and Rebecca Williamson. Number 5 is Renaissance, Colin Kelly for Bruce McDonald and Stephanie Smith-Ruthog. Number 6, Premier Delight, Jeffrey Hunt for Patrick Hunt and Miguel Freitas. Number 7 is Miss Do Right, Samuel Filya for Eric Nadeau and Gaston Pipo. Field of 7, race number 7. Let's get a look at this field. And Rob, a lovely shot of the skyline there. And I'm not going to bug you with that anymore because I don't want any fans sending you emails again saying, why is Gary so mean?
Yeah, I've got a few of those, but I always tell them, right? It's all in good fun. You and I just like to, poke some fun at each other from time to time. You more so than me, but
yeah. Well, I'm the meanie. You're the nice guy. You're the team player. Listen, number 3 on Top Are You Elegant. Tell us, why are you on a horse that's 12-1? Don't give me something to poke fun at you about.
No, I've always liked this horse, Gary. You know that, and you know what? You look at those lines last season earlier this season, before she was off for some time in January at Western Fair. She had a couple on the board finishes, raced really well in those ones, and she's been sneaky good here at the River. She really has been. 2 back, finished second to Kalina Diamond. I thought that she was kind of finding her best stride late in the mile last time. No chance, got away 7th. Long way out of it, and she was coming home with some vigor again, and 65-1 on that occasion. I know we're going to see a lot more support come for her off that line, and it is right now at 9-1. I thought this was a really competitive looking race, and I said I can't take a short price. Whenever I think a race is one that there's multiple horses that can win, I need to find myself a price, and that's where I went to the 3 on Top Are You Elegant. I think that she's progressing nicely. She's not too far away from breaking her maiden. Maybe it's not tonight, but I think she does make her presence felt.
Well, number 1, having a party, is the one that I'm going to with a price. And, well, I don't have Betty Davis eyes, but I got Nicolucci eyes.
Yeah, I've got no problem with going to her in here. I mean, she's a horse that, last season, obviously didn't live up to expectation. Went 0 for 6 in the year with 1 on the board finish. But the qualifier has been pretty good. And, I always mention, Scott Young for that matter too, but James McDonald never really asks a horse, more than what they're needed of in their qualifier. And I thought in that last one coming home in 28-1, never really, went to the whip at all, was kind of under tight lines, just angling her to the outside, letting her get a little bit of air. And that was against the likes of Horizontal, right? So I think that it's a pretty decent qualifier to come in off of. 12-1 on the board right now. I mean, she couldn't be more dead on the board. A horse that you would think should be more than competitive against this group, but is a big number. So for me, I'm on the 1 and 3 in my multis, and I'm happy to be there. I mean, I don't think they're playing out that big in those horizontal wagers, but I do like the looks of them right now in this race.
Number 2, Kalina Diamond, is one that I loved 2 races ago. Didn't back her last race, and, well, we both, I think, had Siri Sealster, and how'd that work out for us?
Didn't work out well. Wasn't fun. But Kalina Diamond, got a perfect trip on that occasion, right? I mean, she stepped up in class. I thought she should have been a decent number on the board. She was 9-1. And she wins by a head, but again, could not have gotten a better trip. So I have a hard time, coming back to 1, even at the same level, when I know that price that was, 9-1 and change is now going to be what it is right now, 9-5, right? So the old adage, if you miss the wedding, don't go to the funeral. I kind of stick to that with these types. And I think she's a good horse. I mean, she's won 2 in a row. We've kind of liked what we've seen from her. But I do think that this is, another solid group she goes up against, and I'm not so sure the trip's going to work out the same way.
And number 6, Premier Delight. You can like a lot of the recent form, and especially 56-2 at Kawartha 2 races ago, but outside against those first 3.
Yeah, the thing is too is that she's one of 2 two-time winners in the field. The other one is Miss Do Right, and I think they both have a chance from out there, but outside post to work from, and I think they might just have their work cut out for them tonight. 6 on the board, finished in 11 tries for the 6 Premier Delight, and has been racing well. The last effort at Hanover was okay. The efforts at Kawartha were obviously better. I just thought that she might have to settle for a smaller share.
And I should mention that I did take Miss Do Right second to having a party outside post and getting a lot of love, 9-5. Look, she did look outstanding here last race. It's a field of 7. It's race number 7. Having a party, Kalina Diamond on the inside. In the center, on top, Are You Elegant? Matthews Rita, Renaissance to the outside, Premier Delight, and Miss Do Right. It's a field of 7. It is race number 7. Here they come. Field for the 7th race is at the start of the rough. Matthews Rita, Kalina Diamond, Miss Do Right is going to do, driving into that turn, do very well, and is looking to go on and try to take the lead. On the inside, Matthews Rita, Miss Do Right, charging hard again this week. Miss Do Right is going to take the front from Matthews Rita. Then Premier Delight still works on the outside, and Premier Delight is going to go up and press things with Miss Do Right, and inside third is Matthews Rita. Kalina Diamond is fourth, and then it is back to on top. Are You Elegant and Having a Party? And Renaissance, Premier Delight at 7-1, now has got the lead as they race on around the turn, and Miss Do Right is doing the pocket. Matthews Rita third, then it is Kalina Diamond on top. Are You Elegant and Having a Party? And Renaissance is trailing the field. Miss Do Right is in the pocket on the back of Premier Delight as they race off the turn, and then racing third is Matthews Rita, and now coming to the outside, Kalina Diamond is driving first over, giving cover to Having a Party. Then on top, Are You Elegant? And Renaissance, 59 seconds the halftime. And it is Premier Delight at 7-1 who's got the lead. Kalina Diamond challenging Miss Do Right on the inside, now third, about 2 off the lead. Having a Party is looming from second over. Matthews Rita is fifth. Then it is Renaissance, and on top, Are You Elegant? Premier Delight. That lead is still a length right now over Kalina Diamond. Miss Do Right, Having a Party, is racing second over fourth, and 3/4, 129-1. Matthews Rita. Renaissance has rolled 3 wide, and then it is back to on top. Are You Elegant? And Premier Delight continues on. Kalina Diamond is chipping away. Miss Do Right is waiting for the passing lane. They turn for home. Premier Delight, Kalina Diamond, and up the inside, Miss Do Right as they come to the finish. And Premier Delight wins it. Then Miss Do Right on the inside, then Kalina Diamond and Matthews Rita. Mile of 158-1. That was an interesting dash. Premier Delight, nice price of 7-1, Rob.
Yeah, it was. And Morning Line had it right. 2-1 in the Morning Line for Premier Delights, and a horse that, I looked at and said, wow, how does the trip work out? Well, Jeff Hunt said, you know what, we're going to put this horse, put her right on the blower tonight and see what she can do, and she goes all the way on the lead. Just kept on driving, right, from the, from post 6 to get to the front, and that was the key to this race. Obviously, it's the place you want to be at Grand River. It doesn't matter, what the bias is or not. I always want to have horses that are going to get forwardly placed, and that's what he did with this one tonight. Decent breather in the second quarter, and fending them off late. Had a horse inside and outside, challenging in the stretch, and just held true to the wire.
And it is close at the finish between the 2 and 7, but we can say that both of those are two that we have to keep an eye on, because Kalina Diamond last race 9-1, and we kind of sat with Siri Seelster. She's proved that she belongs with this level.
Oh, she does. I mean, I'm so happy with the decision to just kind of take a stand against her. Not that it worked out, but the thing is, she's 8-5 in the board, right? And you knew the trip would be more difficult this time, and she went from getting a perfect pocket trip to the toughest trip, first over, right? So it's one of those ones where next time now, let's hope that she, draws another nice spot on the gate, Gary, and we get a bigger number on the board and we can jump back on the bandwagon. Whole idea is to zig when they zag and vice versa, and that's what we hope we can do next time with Kalina Diamond.
And number 7, Miss Do Right, it's only post 7 that really beat her, I would say, is because that's a lot of work. You expend a lot of energy early like that. But this is one we've seen twice now from Three Rivers, and she's a legit filly.
Yeah, she's one we got to keep a close eye on, right? So she was stepping up in class significantly tonight. She took a lot of support on the board, and rightfully so in the end, because like you said, post seven, we see so many horses blast out of there from post seven, post eight, and when they get their spot, they usually get pretty tired late. Well, she wasn't. She was still coming forward at the wire. She couldn't get up against Premier Delight, but she raced Valiant in defeat, and last time was a winner from that same spot. So I think she's just one that needs a little bit of post relief, and we'll see her back in the winner's circle.
Well, on mile of
There it is again.
158 and one, there it is again, Rob.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Just absolutely lovely. You're not going to entice me to make a remark against you.
I'll keep trying.
I'm just waiting to see who finished second. Do we know who was second, Christine?
We do not know yet, Gary.
We do now. Miss Do Right was second. 7/2 for second. So a 6-7-2. Back in front of us is number 6, Premier Delight, a 3-year-old Better's Delight Bay filly, owned by Patrick and Jeffrey Hunt and Miguel Freitas. Jeffrey Hunt, the trainer and the winning driver. It's the third win this year, third lifetime Premier Delight, 158 and 1. The seventh race payout, 6 Premier Delight, 1650, 633.90, 7 Missed You Right, 410, 380, and 2 Kalina Diamond, 240. $2 exactor, 70.50. Dollar try, 131, $15 super, 642.60. Fans note in this 8th race claims on 3 Shadow Moon Rising and 5 Fear the Dice. Race 8 claims 3 and 5. The seventh race order finished in the tops at 5-3-6-4-7-1-2. That's 5-3-6-4-7-1-2. Field 4, race number 8 is on parade. 1, Joe King, Travis Henry for Rafael Barassa and Sylvain Caron. And number 2 is Gringo Star, Colin Keller for Brett Lester, Michelle Hart and Jean Allaire. 3, Shadow Moon Rising, Garrett Rooney for Daryl Laver and Rick Ryer and Paul Burbrick. 4 is Stelios, Brent McDonough for Richard Merwin and Anne Turan. 5, Fear the Dice, claim entered, Anthony Hunt for Rachel Andrew. No claim entered, 3, Shadow Moon Rising as well. Number 6, Disney Man, J.R. Plant for Francis Gilmet and Martin Kepfer. And number 7 is 2 for Tripping, Jason Ryan for Yvette Gallant and Ivan Gallant. Field of 7, race number 8. And let's get a look at this field. And, well, number 3, Shadow Moon Rising, also has a missing chart line, win by 2 3/4 a mile at 157. Of course, you probably saw that one.
I did, Gary, because I do the selections for Hiawatha Horse Park and Sarnia, and was an easy winner. You know, all the way on the lead from the pole position. Same price tag as what he's going to carry tonight, and that's just 2 nights ago. So just 1 day rest, but it was easy, 57 flat, and obviously facing tougher tonight. But you know, I don't think this horse is anywhere close to out of his element against this group. You can look at his other races recently, you know, facing against some pretty decent horses. And now this is going to be the 4th start now for Daryl Laver. Looks good on the track too. Looks sharp. Was confident after that victory. Right, he was 0 for 7 going into it. Now he's 1 for 8, and I got him on top in here, and I'm hoping he's going to be value in those multi-leg wagers.
And of course, we saw this one here last year, mile of 54, victory as a 3-year-old. Number 1, Joe King. Well, if you were thinking that you were going to get a price on Joe King, you got to be joking.
Yeah, I thought that he would take all the support in here. I think that, you know, it's definitely one that's, you know, easy to get excited about, right? Your second start for Rafael Barassa, who's got a 354 UTRS this season and was a winner at this same claiming level 2 back, and did so by more than 6 lengths at Hanover Raceway. Last time tested the waters and condition claimers for a price tag of $15,000. Now getting back, you know, down to a $7,000 price tag. But this is a solid group. Like, I thought this looked like a very tricky $7,000 claimer. Like, if I put my horse in this race and he hooks this field, I'll say, wow, like, it's hard to find a tougher $7,000 claimer, I think, in the province of Ontario, because this is a solid group from top to bottom. So I don't think this is a layup for Joe King by any stretch of the imagination. Was in good form going into his latest, obviously. You know, he was a big-time winner and no worse than second in many of his most recent starts. But I thought that this might be a spot that play against him as a favorite.
I don't know what to make of 4 Stelios. I didn't use this one. Raced well in that first start for Richard Moreau, but then hasn't raced in about a little more than 3 weeks.
Yeah, definitely a veteran that probably has some issues, because 9 starts last year, just 1 start this year so far, and like you said, missed a lot of time between starts. But he's got some back class, right? 23 lifetime wins, 157,000 made, and that effort last time he obviously lost to Fear the Dice, who's in this race and who's double the price right now, 3-1 versus 6-1. But he was first over a long way and kept kind of grit grinding away before finishing second by 3/4 of a length. This is second start back in the barn of Richard Moreau, and it's had success for this camp before. So I thought he's in with a chance in here. I think 7-2 is you got to demand that price or more. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him settle with a big effort and get the victory.
And your 4th choice is number 6, Disney Man. And my top pick, I could see why you might stay away. First start of the year.
Yeah, first start of the year, and obviously you got on the vets list, right, when he got claimed for $9,000 October 10th at Mohawk Park. But if you look at that effort, second to Thundering Jim, that's got to stack up well against this group. Has missed significant time since then. Discounted by $2,000 for racing for a price tag of $7,000. The qualifier was a good one. Second to one of your favorite horses to call, PL Ooh Yeah. And I think that, right now a big overlay at 7-1 on the board. I thought that this horse would take a lot of support in here. Not happening right now.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I say that name.
No, you say it like Macho Man did, but it's okay. I'll leave that to you.
What do they say? You got to know your lane.
That's right, exactly. And I stay within it.
Field of 7, race number 8, the lane of handicapping expert. You're well in that lane. Joe King, Gringo Star on the inside. In the center, Shadow Moon Rising, Stelios, and Fear the Dice to the outside, Disney Man, and 2 for tripping. Field of 7, 8th dash. It's post time. It's a field of 7 for the 8th race. They're approaching the top of the stretch. And they're nearing the start. Gringo Star, Joe King leaving out Disney Man from the outside. And then Shadow Moon Rising and Fear the Dice. And then it is back to Stelios and 2 for tripping. They race their way on down the backstretch. Gringo Star's got the lead. Disney Man is right there racing in the pocket. Joe King is third. Shadow Moon Rising fourth away. Then it is back to Fear the Dice and Stelios. And 2 for tripping is trailing the field. Gringo Star at 15-1 has got the lead. Disney Man at 12-1 is racing in the pocket, and Joe King is third. Shadow Moon Rising is fourth, and then it is back to Fear the Dice and Stelios, and 2 for tripping. Now popping out from fourth, Shadow Moon Rising, and is going to get cover. Joe King took out from third. Opening quarter was 28. They head up to the half, and on top, Gringo Star, Disney Man, right there in the pocket. To the outside, Joe King is coming to call. Joe King is moving up and is alongside Gringo Star. Shadow Moon Rising, gaining some ground to the outside. Disney Man is along to the inside as they work on around the turn. And then racing fifth is Fear the Dice, who works in front of Stelios, and back trailing is 2 for tripping. Gringo Star still has the lead. Joe King is applying some pressure. Even money, Joe King coming to the 15-1 Gringo Star, but Gringo Star still has a lead of about a neck now ahead. And on the inside, Disney Man is still in the hunt at a price of 12-1. Shadow Moon Rising, Fear the Dice, Stelios, and 2 for tripping. And Gringo Star with the lead. Gringo Star, Joe King, Disney Man is looking alive in the pocket, and Shadow Moon Rising is racing fourth. Gringo Star, Joe King as the field turns for home. Joe King and Gringo Star. Disney Man is looking to come up the inside. Disney Man, but as they come on to the finish, Joe King, Disney Man. Joe King is going to win it. And then second between Shadow Moon Rising and Disney Man, 156-4. Joe King gets the job done in this 8th race. A pretty interesting dash overall.
It was, no doubt about it. You know, Joe King has to gut it out, right? He's first over, and you know that Gringo Star is not going to give up the lead easily, right? He usually gets tired at the end of the mile, but when this one kind of attacked him in the first over position, you know that he's going to fight back, and make this one have to work. And Joe King had to do that. He forges to the lead in the stretch, and looks like he might win with ease, but then all of a sudden has to hold off Shadow Moon Rising. Who I thought, really found his best stride late in the mile, coming back on short rest. And, of course, Disney Man was up the inside, too. So he's got horses again. We see this again. Horses on the inside and outside coming at the leader. Cannot get to them before the wire, though. Favorite prevails. But Shadow Moon Rising, I thought, good effort for second. And Disney Man, it's a long time away from the races, Gary, to punch through up the passing line there and get a good piece of it.
Yeah, and the problem for Disney Man as well is Gringo Star just started to fade before the top of the stretch, which gave Joe King just a bit of the advantage, and that's all the advantage he needed. If Gringo Star could have just driven on a little bit more, then it wouldn't have needed to pop quite as hard with Disney Man.
Yeah, that's right. And, 2-hole trips are always a great place to be, especially at a track with a passing lane. But it becomes tricky when, that horse on the engine all of a sudden starts to shorten stride a lot before the head of the lane, because now you have no momentum, right? And Joe King obviously had a lot of it in the first over position, getting by that one. And Disney Man, I thought, was valiant effort to finish third there. Stelios, I thought, had some pace too on the end of the mile. We'll watch him for next time.
Back in front of us is one Joe King, 7-year-old Mystery Chase Bay gelding. Travis Henry, the winning driver. The trainer is Rafael Barassa. The owner is Sylvain Caron, and Rafael shares an ownership. Third win this year, 14th lifetime. Joe King. Eighth race payouts: 1 Joe King, 410 to 3263. Shadow Moon Rising, 290 to 86. Disney Man, 350. $2 exactor, 1010. Dollar try, 39.20. Dollar super, $138. Eighth race order of finish from the top down is a 162-5437. That's 162-5437. Note the claims. Number 3, Shadow Moon Rising, the new trainer Douglas Walters. And also claimed 5, Fear of the Dice, the new trainer Richard Moreau. Field 4, race number 9 is on parade. One Missy's Magic Man, Jason Ryan for Ron Corbett. Number 2, Arcanum, Paul McKenzie for Christina Anderson and Ken Weiss. And 3 is Arrakis, J.R. Plot for Francis Guillemette and Robert Bernicke. 4 is Power and Grace, Brett McDonough for Ron McDonald and Hartel Maintenance, and Lormer McClure and Reg Higgs. 5 is Esquire, Colin Kelly for Mark Goddard and Brandon Guerrera. And number 6, Treasured Tea, Travis Henry for Francis Guillemette and Eric Beausejour and Stefan Joffrey. And number 7, Bucky's Angel, Wayne McLean for Beverly Rice. Field of 7, race number 9. Very nice field of trotters here, Rob. And, well, the fans are looking primarily at the 3 and 4. You went with 4, Power and Grace.
I did, Gary, and I think that Power and Grace certainly comes into this as sharp as she's been this season. Right, a couple of wins at Georgian Downs, combined margin of 7 lengths, was not headed in either one of those efforts, and that's how she's best. Right, she races her best when she goes to the lead, and the last couple of times we've seen her, she has worked from the trailing post and preferred 2 on June the 12th, and got away third off the gates from post 4 on June the 5th when she had missed a little bit of time between starts. So this is now a much better situation for her, racing back in a regular rotation. She's been going to the front in her recent efforts. She looks sharp in the track right now, and certainly capable of beating this group. And we talked about her being a high percentage winner last year and throughout her career, and then this year, certainly getting on the board with frequency, but not winning as much. I think we might start to see that swing the other direction because those last 2 victories were good ones.
And when you look at Arrakis, the one we're going to talk, well, actually, we're going to talk next about number 6, Treasured Tea, before we get to Arrakis, my talk one. Treasured Tea, post position 6. Now, look, that was a tough field last time out in the preferred 2 class, and Treasured Tea certainly was working late. Didn't do much early, but then came on very nicely.
Yeah, he did. He came on late in the mile, and he's kind of a versatile type like that. Throughout his career, like, he was always kind of known as a speed horse, like, at his best when he's on the engine. And then in recent seasons, he's been able to come from off the pace as well. Still does his best work. When he gets forwardly placed, that's when he typically kind of pins his ears back and does some good work on the engine. I think that this is going to be a tough spot for him again to maybe try that because there's so much speed to his inside. Now he does have a friend in Arrakis, stablemate, who has got post 3, who also has a lot of early foot. But I think Treasure T might be racing off a helmet again tonight, and I think he can get a big piece of it though. Good value on the board right now at 4-1. I kind of find it hard to separate him and his stablemate Arrakis, but I did go to Treasure T in between.
Well, and Arrakis does get the benefit of starting inside of Power and Grace. Do you think Arrakis can beat Power and Grace off the gate? Starts inside of him, inside of her.
Well, I think if that's the game plan, I think he'll be to the pylons first. There is speed who's inside though, right? Missy's Magic Man has the ability to blast out of there from the pole position, but I think that the early speed's going to be Arrakis coming around, and then Power Grace trying to attack that one, and Arrakis might end up with a 2-hole trip this time, as opposed to like last time, working hard to get to the engine from post 5 and then kind of clicking off a pretty solid half of 56 and 4. You see his victory too back at Georgian, 27 and 4, 58 to the half. Well, that's night and day between those 2 efforts. So I liked him last time at 11-1. I gave him a whirl, ended up finishing 4th, beaten by just under 2 lengths. And now all of a sudden that value's gone away this time, about 5-2 right now. It was 2-1 a second ago. I think in with a big chance, but I do prefer Power and Grace off her recent form.
I'm using the Robert off angle. I love getting wins when you jump off a horse. It's one of my favorite things. Hold it. I said I wasn't gonna get after you the rest of the way. 5 Esquire. Sorry, yeah, well, I do enjoy it just so much. It's one of my favorite things. 5 Esquire and Colin Kelly. If we talk about the other 3, he really compares well here too.
Yeah, confidence builder last time too, right? We were all over him in that one, and how could you not be pole position? And was coming right back on a regular rotation after getting beat by a few lengths of Serenity Cruise in a race where I thought it was basically he got used pretty hard and early going, and that's why he kind of got soft late. Last time that didn't happen. And the problem is, this field looks so deep to me, Gary. A horse that I think on his best day is more than capable of competing in the preferred 2, But this is another installment that came up pretty tough. Like last time, CCAN got the best of a good group, and this is another one that looks like solid from top to bottom. So I think Esquire's in for his share of it, but I'd be a little bit surprised if he came out on the business end.
It is such a tough field. I'm interested to see what Arcanum does. Looked pretty good in that first start of the year. And this is one that can compare when he's on his game. But he's hooked a tough bunch. But it'll be the second start now off the long layoff.
Yeah, 15 to 1. One I think you can use in the bottom end of the exotics. Almost made my top four, just missed.
It's a field of 7 taking up their positions. Missy's Magic Man, Arcanum on the inside, in the center, Arrakis, Power and Grace, and Esquire. And to the outside, Treasure T and Bucky's Angel. It's a field of 7, ninth race. Here they come. Field is at the start of the rough. And Arrakis in Power and Grace. Missy's Magic Man to the inside. And then Esquire. Arrakis with inside advantage, but Power and Grace on the outside is driving on. Power and Grace trying to clear to the front of her Arrakis. And Power and Grace is going to make the front. Arrakis is second, Esquire is third. Then Missy's Magic Man. Then it is Arcanum and Treasure T. And Bucky's Angel is trailing the field. Power and Grace 4 to 5 on the board and was powered up early. Leads it by 2 right now. Arrakis will ride the pocket with Esquire third. Missy's Magic Man fourth, and then Arcanum and Treasure T and Bucky's Angel. It is Power and Grace, the 4 to 5 favorite as they work on around the turn. Sharp opening panel, 27 and 4. Arrakis and JR Plot sits the pocket on the back of Brett McDonald and Power and Grace as they work on towards us. And then Esquire and Colin Kelly's racing third as they work their way up towards the half. And now moving on the outside is Arcanum and Paul McKenzie will have cover. Esquire took out Missy's Magic Man fifth of the inside, then Treasure T and Bucky's Angel. And it is Power and Grace 57 and 3. Halftime 29 and 4. Second panel. Arrakis is racing second. Esquire third. On the outside for this Arcanum and then Missy's Magic Man. Treasure T, Bucky's Angel. Power and Grace continues to power on and is looking a sharp 2 1/4 length advantage over Arrakis and then Esquire third. Then it is Arcanum. Treasure T closes a bit but still has a lot of work to do. And then Missy's Magic Man and Bucky's Angel. And Power and Grace doesn't show any signs of letting up. Arrakis is trying to close, but Power and Grace just powers on gracefully as they turn for home. Arrakis is second. Arcanum is third. Power and Grace as they come to the finish up the inside. Arrakis, but Power and Grace goes coast to coast like butter on toast. Arrakis was second, then Arcanum and Esquire 155 and 1. Power and Grace, Rob, you and the fans were right.
Yeah, we sure were. You know what? She's just a different horse when she finds her best stride, isn't she? And she loves the engine. I mean, when she's sharp and when she's on her game, she goes to the front and she is so tough to catch. I mean, you could see off the gate tonight. We kind of called the lineup, right? We said Arrakis is going to come around them, and then right away we're going to see the big mare Power and Grace probably loop him, and that's what happened. 27 and 4, a bit of a breather second quarter, but she didn't really need it. I mean, she's straight and strong to the wire here, and 3 in a row now for her. We talked about it, earlier on in the season, not winning at the clip she usually does, but by the end of this year, who knows? Maybe we'll see her win by a similar percentage because she's rounded back into form and she's super sharp right now.
Well, at least Arrakis was second best. You did use Treasure T, but the problem with Treasure T just had a little too much work to do.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I thought there might be some outer flow, and there was. I mean, we saw that a move there on the outside from Esquire, which I mean that's not going to really be his scene. He ends up still finishing a decent fourth, but Arrakis got in the 2-hole, and I mean, really trip handicapping, as I know you love to do, Gary. That's probably the direction should have went for the exacta because they lined up that way. And if you like Power and Grace on the engine, you got to like Arrakis in the 2-hole, and that's the way it finished. And you brought up Arcanum, a horse that I was in the same boat, didn't know what to do with off that last effort. Well, I think he showed that he's trending in the right direction because a good effort to be third and a nice job by Paul McKenzie to drop to the inside in the final turn.
Well, if I was properly trip handicapping, I would have been with you on Power and Grace, so my bad. 4-3-2-5, the top four. Number 4, Power and Grace, 8-year-old Holiday Road, Bay Mare, owned by Hartel Maintenance and Lorimer McClure and Brett McDonald and Reg Higgs. And Ron McDonald, the trainer. Brett McDonald, the winning driver. Fifth win this year. 50th lifetime. A big 5-0 for Power and Grace. Ninth race. Payouts for Power and Grace 372 40 290, 3 Arrakis 372 50, 2 Arcanum 610, $2 exactor $13, dollar try 41.50, dollar super 100 19.45. Ninth race order finish in the top 732 1456. That's 732 1456. Field for the 10th on parade. 1 is Fernhill Breeze, Anthony Hunt for Bruce Go out of Michelle Bohr. Number 2 is Major on the Beach, Garrett Rennie for Cassidy Schneider and Colonel Schneider. 3 is Malvolio, Travis Henry for Joe Pereira and James Barry. 4 is All Go No Woe, Jason Ryan for Kenroy Scaife. 5 is Royal Renegade, Colin Keller for Brett Lester and Rose Smith. 6 DJ Sealster, Brett Madonna for Richard Merwin, Norman Beausoleil. Number 7 Examiner, Hanover J.R. Plot for Francis Guillemette. 8 is Viper. It is Paul McKenzie driving for Len Lalonde Jr. and Christina Lalonde. And 9 is Hello Rocky, Jay Harris for Boyd Wilson and Jammer Racing. Field for the 10th and final dash featuring the Super High 5. And, well, number 5, Royal Renegade, is the one that you thought was likely to be heavily backed here, just as you expected, 3-5 on the board.
Yeah, it had to happen, Gary. Got beat by, Redneck Jim last time. That was the only one that could get the better of him, and it was still a decent effort, right? He paced his own mile on 54-1, and was one that, we thought that getting here to Grand River would be able to get back in the win column. Was a winner just, 4 starts ago at Mohawk Park against tougher competition. Now gets another chance at this class. Heavy favorite in the multi-leg wagers, and a heavy favorite of the board right now at 1-2. Expecting that price to hold up, maybe even shorter come post time. Just think he's going to be difficult to catch in here. I mean, he's got a favorite style as of late, and that's go to the engine. It hasn't always been that way for Royal Renegade, but lately that's the name of his game, and I think that's the way he wins tonight.
And he's closing in on the $500,000 mark, veteran 11-year-old. Number 2, Major on the Beach, though, has major early speed.
Yeah, he's a horse that actually has been racing really well as of late. Was very interested in him at last time he was a winner here. He won by these 6 lengths, 8-5 favoritism. Since then, raced pretty well. A couple of second place finishes at Clinton, an optional $8,500 claimer, and then was taken back by trainer Cassidy Schneider last time at Kawartha Downs in for $9,000. So now has that price tag upticked again to $10,500 tonight. Not without a chance in here. I mean, he might be the one to be able to capitalize if Royal Renegade gets soft late, because this one does have a ton of early foot. Now I think we'll be more than happy to let that one go around and for him to sit the 2-hole. That's the way the lineup can be. Thinking that Major in the Beach right now has some upset potential at 7-1.
Number 1, Fernhill Breeze could be dangerous, but that break, of course, scares me off, and the recent form of the last couple races, including that break. But this is one that's raced against tougher.
Yeah, and the thing I always come back to is you go back just a few starts ago and see second to Devil's Peak at 36-1 only, lost by 3/4 of a length, and you think, you know what, you're going to get a price this time off his last 2 efforts, 7th in each of them with a break last time. Still has the pole position. We see it hit the high 5 so many times here at the River in the finale, and he's going to be a huge number on the board, and has already shown he's capable to do some damage at this level. So 30-1, I'm not going to leave him off my high 5. I'll probably have him as high as 3rd, and he certainly adds some serious value to the ticket.
Number 7, Examiner Hanover, is interesting because he gets post 7 a lot. He fires out hard, but he gives up a few spots at the end just because of how hard he works from post 7.
Yeah, post 7, I mean, jeez. I mean, that's pretty wild that he's had this post now. This is the 5th time in 6 starts he's had to work from the 7-hole. And not an easy spot here at Grand River or anywhere for that matter, but he does. He shows that early foot almost every time, gets to the lead or gets forwardly placed, and then, fades back to 3rd in each of his last 3, but there's no shame in that. I just thought that tonight might be a little bit tougher. There's a lot of speed to his inside. It's going to come from multiple spots directly inside of him as well. So I think a smaller share is probably going to be his ceiling. Might have to tuck in and try to attack them later in the mile, too. 9-2. I think it's a bit too short, too, in my opinion.
Number 6, DJ Sealster. Tough to leave off the top 4, but it's a good brace.
Yeah, condition claiming ranks now back to open claiming ranks. I couldn't get there in good form right now, but I think a smaller share at best.
It's a field of 9 for race number 10. Fernhill Breeze, Major on the beach, Malvolio on the inside. In the center, All Go No Woe and Royal Renegade to the outside. DJ Sister, Examiner, Hanover, and Viper. And the second tier, Hello, Rocky.
Giddy up, Gary guy.
Field of 9, 10th race. Here they come. Giddy up. They're at the start of the rough. Major on the beach. Examiner Hanover is going to blast from the outside. Fernhill Breeze, I'll go no woe, and Royal Renegade. But Examiner Hanover, as expected, is able to blast out and get the lead. Major on the beach, and then Royal Renegade is still working on the outside. I'll go no woe is racing third. Is Royal Renegade, well, was going to take back, but now has had a change of plan and is going to press on. Royal Renegade is rolling on the outside and is now going to come on and grab the lead from Examiner Hanover. Major on the beach is positioned third. Then fourth is All Go No Woe in front of Fernhill Breeze, and then it is back further to Malvolio. DJ Silster on the inside. Racing second from last is Hello Rocky. Viper trails the field. They race on up towards the half. Leading the way is Royal Renegade, who cleared to the front of her Examiner Hanover, who is racing about 2 1/4 off the lead at 10-1, 56-second flat halftime. Oh, Go No Woe is flashing some go now and is working first over. Major on the beach is fourth on the inside. Malvolio fifth. Fernhill Breeze sixth. And then DJ Sealster. Then it is back to Viper and Hello Rocky. Royal Renegade 2-5 of the board. Freewheeling it on top, but on the outside, Oh Go No Woe now has come on and is a length back of the leader. And Examiner Hanover is still in the front three. Malvolio's getting a little closer. DJ Sealster digging out three wide to the inside is Major on the beach, and then it is back to Viper and Fernhill Breeze and Hello Rocky. And now sprinting out sharply, Royal Renegade. Examiner Hanover is fought back to reclaim second. On down the stretch drive they come, and Royal Renegade. Examiner Hanover is a game second, then finishing third. It goes to All Go No Woe, and then fourth was Major on the beach. But Royal Renegade 2-5 and showed why he's 2-5.
Yeah, he sure did. Much the best winner. And you know what, Gary? I love what Colin Kelly did, right? We thought he might take back. He can't take back with Royal Renegade, so he just kind of took a little bit of a breather when they were blasting out of their Examiner Hanover, by the way. I didn't know if he'd be able to clear them tonight. He did in the blink of an eye. And then Royal Renegade just kind of let them settle and then attacked them to get to the lead. Solid fractions throughout and marches on for an easy victory. A horse that when he's at top of his game, I mean, he'll beat this group and then some, and another nice victory there. 41st of his career, and that will put him just over, right? Just over? No, just under the $500,000 mark.
And really the story of this race too is 7 Examiner Hanover sticking around for second because, man, did he expend some energy to get to the front, and yet he fought back in on the inside to get second.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree. I thought that that was a huge effort from him. I thought Major on the beach, was tripping out there, and that one couldn't stay with Examiner Hanover, who got used really hard nearly going. So, I mean, just a tough luck horse for the post draw, right? All these post sevens. If he ever can draw inside, not have to do so much work in early going, he'd be right there.
That
But
tells
Royal
you how
Renegade
good a
coming back
horse
with the
is.
gate.
He needs the starting gate to get him slowed down coming to get a picture.
Yeah, you gotta love that, right? And Colin's bringing him back behind the gates. That's how sharp Royal Renegade is right now.
Back in front of us, 5 Royal Renegade, 11-year-old J.K. Royal Bay gelding owned by Rose Smith, trained by Brett Lester. Colin Kelly, the winning driver, 4th win this year, 41st lifetime for Royal Renegade. The 10th race payouts 5 Royal Renegade, 280, 220, 210, 7 Examiner Hanover, 540 and 450, and for Algono Woe, 640. $2 Exactor, 2080, dollar try, 65, 55, double of 4 and 5, $7. Dollar pick 3, 615. Dollar win 4, 90.65. Dollar pick 5, 200, 17.10. Dollar high 5, 3,800, 11.75. Note the 20-cent high 5, 762.25. The 10th race order of finish from the top down is a 546-317-289. That's 546-317-289. Well, fans, that concludes the live harness racing program for this Monday. Our next live racing event is Wednesday. Our first race, post time, is 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Christine.